Here.
King. Seaver.
Here.
Graves.
Here.
Shelby.
Item number 2, petitions from the audience. Seeing none, I'm going to change the order a little bit tonight. We have a gentleman here, and we're going to move item number 11 up to, and have it next. Item number 11 says, discuss, possibly recommend council action regarding changing the credit card processing at the Pryor Creek Golf Course to Merchant Pro Express, which charges the fees to the consumer.
At the golf course, we have a credit card machine, and all the fees that we incur because of the credit card machine is taken out of our budget. So one of the ways to help our budget is pass that credit card fee onto the consumer. So that way, if they want to pay cash or check, our price would be whatever our prices are. If they wanted to use a credit card, it would go up a certain percentage. The consumer would pay that fee. So of course this is a little bit more for the consumer, but they do have options. So we're just trying to look at all of the ways on our budget if we can save money. This would save us a considerable amount of money, probably $6,000 a year out of our budget. So we do have Mr. Rod Watkins here, and he's with this company, and he can answer your questions and explain the program. I think it's a good deal personally myself, so if you have some questions for him.
So typically, speaking to everyone here.
Yeah, this is a part of it, right?
Typically, you're offering a cash discount to pay with cash or check. You still take check in this?
Yes.
And so if they choose to pay with their credit card, the machine will designate, so if there's a $100 fee, the fee goes, the $100 goes into the checking account, and the fee goes to the bank. So it separates, the equipment does it for you. So in the booking, if you did $1,000, you get thousands in your account the next day. So it keeps it simple, and it's an easy way to keep your books, and it's called cash discounting. Oklahoma actually passed a law in January where you can call it surcharging if you would like, but and it just gives you an opportunity to keep your cost of running credit cards, and the equipment does it for you. So there's 3 legal parts. You got to be registered with the credit card companies, signage, and then the equipment. So we do that as a supplier for you.
So what you're saying is, and Dennis, from a pricing standpoint, you're gonna show it as $100, and if you pay cash, you're gonna get a discount.
No, the signage would say prices shown listed are cash price. If you choose to pay with a credit card, it'll be a 3.75% added onto your card.
Okay, I just understood the opposite of what you just said, and okay.
Well, the whole idea.
But that's okay, yeah.
Yeah, the whole idea is to not have to raise your prices to absorb credit card fees, because of the cost of the credit cards. What we're seeing in the industry is these 5%, 6% cashback, airline miles, rewards cards are really starting to stack up. And right now, if you get one of those, they just take it out of your account. So they don't, the processor doesn't really care.
Yeah.
But if you do cash discounting, you really do care because, if it's above that, the processor eats the difference, but it's all about the average. So your prices listed advertised at our cash price. That's
Okay.
the way the signage is reading this.
So maybe, for example, we have a drink in a cart for $40 on a weekend. Golf course always will get the $40, full of $40. The consumer may be charged, what, 40,
Maybe $1.
75, 22,
Yeah. Whatever $1.50.
$1.50, so $41.50 is what the consumer would be charged if he decided to use his credit card.
So when I walk up, give the credit card, what's the process that the customer knows, okay, there's a fee add on here?
Well, the signage at the door, sign on the counter, and the signs which indicate prices advertised or cash price.
So is it a flat fee or is it based on what you're spending?
That's a flat fee of percentage. Well, it has to be programmed into the equipment of the fee. So if it's, you know, it's a percentage of whatever the charges are.
Of the sale?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
And what was the percentage again?
3.75.
So $100, it costs you
$3.
Yeah, the total will be $103.75. You run $100 on a credit card.
So, how you gonna do that? It's the same equipment we're doing the pro shop with, right? So somebody comes in and buys a Coke or beer on a credit card, it's gonna get upcharged, or, I shouldn't use those words. There's gonna be,
Processing fee?
yeah, there's a fee on top of that, so
Yeah.
beer used to be $1 a quarter, now it's gonna be $1.
Well, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be dumb enough to pay for a Coke with a credit card.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people do, the younger
do.
generations are.
Yep.
So
They just
actually,
don't
when you
carrying
buy a
cash on
Coke,
them.
you
They
actually
don't carry
lost
cash.
money because it costs you a quarter to process.
Yeah.
So if you sell that Coke and they use their credit card, you're not gonna say, hey, we don't, you know, I don't know, you have a minimum?
Yes, yeah, we do a minimum or we charge extra.
Oh, okay, so if they do a minimum, but, yeah, typically, if you don't sell a Coke, you lose money on that.
The city has a $10 minimum.
Yeah.
If you're aware of that, there's a $10 minimum the city has.
You can take, but with this system, you can remove that sign because you're not gonna care.
Because a half a cart for 9 holes is $9. So we have some things that are under $10, so, you know, this way, they can still use your credit card instead of trying to hit that $10 minimum.
But that $10 minimum is also, in effect at the golf course. Okay.
We try to, sometimes we don't have anything, so.
Well, because of the fees have gone up with these rewards cards, pretty much every retail business or golf course, they require a $5 or $10 minimum if they use a credit card.
Sure.
So is there any reward program associated with this one?
No, I mean,
It depends on your card.
whoever's, if somebody uses a rewards card, you know, that goes back to them, it's the cardholder,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, but I think of, well,
So your fee, so you're collecting, your business gets the 3 point,
Yeah, the
Whatever.
processing, the Visa, MasterCard, Discover, they keep the 3.75.
and then how are you paid? I guess
They
I'm not,
take care of that through my processor.
There's a
Not
sheet,
much, not a lot, but it's,
is this the sheet, there's a sheet here that says it has
yeah.
the monthly flat rate that we're
Yeah.
paying this company.
yeah,
And it's $45 a month.
oh, that's what I was wondering, okay.
Right,
yeah.
that's in there someplace.
Yeah, that flat rate that's all you pay, but that's for, the statement batching, there are different things, different costs that go into the process. But that covers your accounts for anything on that.
What's it costing us right now? How much a year, about 12,000, you said?
We
7,000?
budget
Huh?
Seven.
About 7,000 a year. Well,
Credit
we're,
card processing. This would take it down to, what, 600?
540,
Yeah.
I mean, it's under 600.
and so if we went this way, we would keep the 7,000 and the consumer would pay that.
Correct.
Whatever, yeah, whatever it is.
I mean,
Yeah, so that's really net profit back into your account, because you're not having to pull that money out of your account to pay for that fee.
Right.
Right.
All we'd have is $45 a month.
Yes, sir. And then the receipt, now there's a couple of pieces of different equipment you can use, but the receipt, that the machine spits out looks something like this, but it shows non-cash adjustment on the, right there, it's part of the receipt. So if they choose not to pay with cash or check, it's right there on the credit card receipt, which is part of the legal part. So they know that that's what their fee is. And then here's, I provide some of the signage that goes up on the door, with the equipment.
There's some other businesses around that's doing that, other golf courses.
Yeah, Nowata Country Club, they use this process, sort of, relatively small. R&L Tire here in, there's a line in Pryor, a number of businesses in Bonita, restaurants, a lot of restaurants use. Since COVID, everyone's really having to watch what they, cost, staying open, especially small businesses. And this is a good way to say, to keep our prices down and stay competitive, we wanna not have to pay the fees.
And the fee again was 3.75?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I usually like to start out, because the rewards card, as a matter of fact, you're about to get a price increase with where you're at. Visa, MasterCard, Discover just came out with a price increase. So I try to start out at 4, but I thought, well, just to kind of get things rolling, we'll lower it to 3.75 and see how it comes out. So, a statement would look like this, would show all your processing. And this is what your fee is for what you're paying, $45. This is what you're paying right here.
Okay.
And this shows the detail of, here's what MasterCard, so here's what you pay here, and then the detailed billing.
Is this, what kind of contractual arrangement do we have?
It's a month to month.
So it's just month to month, no
No,
penalty for changing if we change?
no.
The max percentage you can go up to, Rod, is
Okay.
And I can't, I can't go over, right now, the law is you can't go over 4%.
that's the most, you get 3.75,
So-
the most you can ever do.
Right. Right now, we just had a price increase, or they did, they keep passing these price increases now, but right now, I can't go over 4, so I've told Dennis I'd start at, a little bit less than 4, just, because I don't know what your corporate cards the customers are using or anything like that, and hopefully I don't lose money on that, but,
Different cards have different rates.
Yes, sir.
That they charge this, American Express is very expensive.
Well, that's the reason a lot of companies don't take American Express, because it's 6%. But we don't care with this program. It's all about the average, so you can take American Express. Anyway.
Anybody have any other questions?
Want a flyer or anything? Anybody want a
I
flyer?
gave them all the flyers.
I think we've got one here, don't we, Dennis?
Just,
They should have, everybody should have. a
yeah,
flyer.
we have that.
But
Is your rate fairly competitive, that 3.75?
with this smaller businesses, yes. I mean, typically, if you get into large volumes, say 200,000 or 300,000 a month processing for like retail stores, it drops about a half a point or a quarter of a point or so, but
Did you have to do a lot of business to get it to drop?
well, yeah, that, but it's all about the buy rate. The buy rate, we have a great buy rate, but it's all about what we have to buy it at. So, it doesn't matter who's out there, everybody says, the buy rate's the same for everybody. No, it's not. It's about, buy rate, cost can run anywhere from 1.8 to 2% right now. So that's what it costs us to sign up with Visa. But there's a lot of different businesses that use it. It could be automotive, restaurants, golf courses.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Rod.
I would entertain a motion to recommend council action regarding the changing of the credit card processing to Merchant Pro Express.
I'll make the motion.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second? Okay, motion been made and seconded, discussion? Call for the vote,
Cannageeser,
yes?
Marks,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes?
Seaver,
Yes.
Graves,
Yes,
Motion carried, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now we'll go back to the regular agenda. Item number 3 is opening the sealed bids for the golf course equipment. We've got 3 sets of bids here.
did we get or did somebody have a copy of the bid specs? The packet that went out as far as what were the specs that these people are bidding on?
I haven't seen it. Do you have a copy of the specs you put out?
There should be specs in each one of the bids.
No, I'm talking, not, is that the specs that we sent you?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Pardon me?
No, I was just asking.
He said that they're in.
They're in
Yeah,
the
he
packet.
said that everybody's got the same set.
Everybody got the same set of specs, yeah?
Yeah, I was just wanting to see a copy of it. That's all I was asking.
I didn't bring a blank copy, I can print one out.
No, that's all right, as long as there's one in the packet. We need to evaluate it against something.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
Oh, okay.
That way you can, these are the items that
Is there a copy of the specs?
Thank you. All right.
The,
how are you?
okay, there.
I'm really sorry. You can sit right over there in that downstairs spot.
Yeah. Oh, good. Like, yeah, you like flick your ear? This is old school.
That's great, that's excellent, thank you.
Yeah.
Try to keep these in line if we can.
Bill, do you have one packet per vendor? Is that what you got, one?
Yeah, one package for each, we got 4 bids, 4 different items, we got 4 different bids.
Yeah, but John Deere's all showed up in one packet.
No, they each have their own envelopes.
one per piece.
One per piece, so we got 12 different packets. Okay.
Yep,
You only got 3 from our company, because we don't have walk behind air fryers.
okay.
Okay.
All right, the first one is the fairway mower.
Could you help us out by telling us what the specifications were? What did we send as specs to each one of the parties for the fairway mower?
We see something that says specifications
That's
for
just-
fairway mower. Is that something that you might be looking at?
Well, yeah, I'd ask these guys, where'd you put the specs?
This is the specs that were sent out. You got them here, all
Oh,
3 of these.
Okay,
They're all the same there.
yeah,
Like,
thank you.
Chris has got something.
Yeah, number 4.
And
So he just
The
gave us
totals.
these so we can write down all 16 bids.
You know, in the past, what we've done is let's distribute those packages for the fairway mowers to each one of the members. We need 3 members, and as we go down through these, we can
yeah,
get a sense of,
yeah.
So then, we need to make some more copies, or do we have enough?
no, I'd say just have somebody read off the packets.
Okay.
All right.
If you read them off, I mean, I'll take the notes if that's what you want me to do.
The first one is Jacobson. And it has the fairway mower with options is $60,560. Without options, it's $55,760. Okay?
I think he has some over on his notebook. He needs one of these.
That's,
Spreadsheets.
And we're talking about,
Jacobson is KGT.
which one is KGT?
KGT, that's the Jacobson, what I just gave you.
Okay,
That's KGT.
KGT.
This is
Do you need a pen?
professional turf.
Anybody else next one?
Professional turf. And this is all for the fairway mower, correct?
Just the fairway mower,
Okay,
okay? The, professional turf is with options, 66,289.40.
So is this Toro or John Deere? Toro. Okay.
Okay.
One more time, 60,
66,289.40
That's with options.
with options.
Without options, it's 61,246.20.
Got it?
Just for Toro, were the options part of the bid specs? Or what are the options?
And that's the Toro motor. And the third one is John Deere. And
Yeah,
theirs is
This is with options now.
with options, 59,877.72.
Okay,
And without options, $55,951.40. 70 cents or 40 cents, so I can't, it's one or the other. 40, okay. And they also have a demo for $49,995.
okay, hang on, a demo, is that with or without options?
Well, that's just a demo,
Just a demo, and it's how much again? 49,
$49,995.
okay,
The mayor's printing out the
okay.
Okay, now we look at the specs for each one.
So they said of printing out some blank spec sheets that we can write on. At least we can check against.
This is the specs for the, I don't know how you want to go through this, the specs for the Jacobson. Or we can sort of go see if, compare them all at the same time here.
Bill, rather than you trying to read all of those, I think maybe if you just handed one of those to one park board member and one to another, we'll divide them up, and then we'll go down through the specs,
Okay,
and you can say, we can see who meets what specs.
that's, here. Okay. You've got, KGT, I think, yeah. This one is professional turf, and you've got John Deere.
Yes, sir.
So the first specifications for the fairway mower were, minimum requirements, cylinder, turbo, diesel, and the horsepower.
It's a, yeah,
You guys can,
This is the horsepower.
this is
yeah,
the, professional, which is the, let me get it, figure out which one's which here. Toro is 36.8 horsepower.
Pat, are you taking these notes?
No, I was just taking the prices,
Okay,
but if I need to, I mean.
no,
And what is it on the, that's the Jacobson you've got, I think, yeah.
Right, it's a 4-cylinder, 37.5.
and the John Deere?
3-cylinder turbo diesel, 41.6 horsepower.
Okay. From an electrical standpoint, the reverse warning,
Reverse warning comply is no on Toro.
No,
no on Jacobson,
No, on John Deere.
Okay. Oil warning gauge compliance is yes on the Toro.
yes on Jacobson.
Yes, on John Deere.
Okay.
let me just ask quickly on reverse warning, Dennis, that was a requirement?
No, I just want to know if they had that option.
Okay,
Fuel tank capacity is 14 gallon on the Toro.
17 on Jacobson.
I'll defer.
I'm not sure. I think I just put a check mark on that.
Yeah. We meet it, it takes gas.
it's got a capacity, it shows how much fuel in the
Okay.
tank.
Yes,
It has capacity.
yes.
Fuel gauge, yes on Toro.
Yes on Jacobson.
Yes.
Okay.
16 gallon.
Cutting width 100 inches, yes on Toro.
Yes, 108 on Jacobson.
108,
Yes.
and how much was it on the Toro?
Just yes, so it must have been 100.
Okay. It's 100.
And the John Deere meets the 100.
Minimum 8 blade cutting unit, yes.
11 blade on Jacobson.
And the John Deere meets minimum.
Rear roller scrapers is yes on the Toro.
Yes on Jacobson.
Yes, and I have a price of $246.
Okay.
What does that price represent? Is that additional cost?
If you don't want it on there, you can take that off the price.
Okay.
We have several different options.
All right.
Okay, they're all the same.
Okay.
Right, okay.
3-inch composite groove front rollers, yes, on the Toro.
Yes on Jacobson.
Yes, on John Deere.
That's what they're looking at.
Canopy top with fan, yes.
Fan not available through the manufacturer on Jacobson.
Canopy top with fan, yes, for John Deere.
Air ride suspension, yes, on Jake Toro.
Thank you.
On Jacobson, premium suspension air shock.
That's on the seat, yeah.
John Deere, yes.
Power steering, yes.
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 Onboard backlapping, yes.
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 Two-wheel traction drive, yes.
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 Hydraulic reel drive, yes.
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 Hydraulic system, yes.
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 Height of cut range, Toro is 1/4 inch to 3 inch, depending on the reel and the bed knife setup.
Jacobson is 3/4 inch to 3 3/4 inches.
John Deere is 1/4 inch to 2 inch.
Cutting frequency is a blank.
NA.
It's variable.
Variable, okay.
John Deere is a load match cutting frequency.
Hydraulic leak detention system, is yes.
Yes.
No, on John Deere.
Hour meter complies, yes.
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 Mowing speed is 0 to 8 mile an hour.
11 miles an hour.
8 miles an hour.
Transport speed.
Hey, Bill, hold on just a second. What was the Toro? Jacobson was 11 miles per hour, 8 miles an hour for the John Deere, and what was the Toro?
8.
8?
Most 8.
Toro was 8, yeah.
Okay.
Transport speed is 0 to 10.
12.
11 and a half.
All right, now the options. The mower grass baskets cost $2,135 for the Toro.
1,500 for the Jacobson.
$2,268.
Rear roller brush kit, $3,164.41.
For Jacobson, 3,300.
John Deere is $3,062.
Technical service manual is available for purchase.
Yes.
Yes.
Training on how to use and maintain is yes.
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 All freight and on-site pre-charge should comply and show, yes.
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 Delivery requirements are estimated at 2/1/2021.
No more than 90 days.
Okay, that's,
I have net 30 days on new and net 10 days on the demo.
Should be one more on the very back page.
which is there another page?
Yeah.
Turn it over.
Back page. That's where we started.
I have one more page.
What about
Here it is,
service
here it is.
requirements?
Here we go, one more. Service requirements. Supplier must have service technician available for necessary repairs within 48 hours of the breakdown, which is due to the mechanical failure of any warranty part equipment, and comply, yes or no, and, Toro is yes.
Yes.
All fair?
Yes.
John Deere is yes.
Hey, just a question on this one, is that on premises, or do we have to haul the equipment to wherever the service?
Depends on what the breakdown is.
Yeah, depends on severity of the failure.
If it's just someone fixing something, then yeah, we can send somebody out there. But
If it's an engine failure, more than likely it'll have to be taken in, something like that.
Is that something that you guys would come and pick up and take in?
Yeah.
Okay, so, Dennis, do you have any means of hauling any of this equipment?
no, not too much.
Okay. So the understanding is if it fails, and they can't bring somebody out to fix it, they're gonna bring somebody out with a trailer and haul it in.
Yes, sir.
Are there any requirements, are there any specifications around how long you'll be without the equipment? What's kind of the going, I don't think it's in the bid specs, but just as an understanding, is that a problem for you when you're without the equipment?
Yeah, it can be. And so a lot of times, in the past, we've dealt with some of them, and they would bring a demo unit to replace it. I didn't put that in specs.
There's times we'll bring a loaner out or something, you know, it may not be the exact same
Sure.
loader that you got, but something that'll mow grass, mow fairways, you know, for you.
In other words, we could get by until you repaired whatever.
Something that you can, yeah, go out there and mow your fairways with, you know. May not be the same width of cut, may not be the same horsepower, but it'll be something.
Yeah, you can get the job done. Is it, from a standpoint of parts and things like that, do you guys maintain local inventories, or do you have to go to a central warehouse somewhere and have it shipped in? I mean, I'm assuming you don't carry all the inventory for all the equipment.
No, we can't, no.
Yeah.
Not with all the equipment we sell.
I mean, all your major replacement parts, I mean, I'm speaking for them, but we all have inventory for all major replacement parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if it's a one-off,
Usually anything that, any parts that need to be replaced can be gotten in overnight.
Okay. Yeah. I think our biggest, what we're trying to protect against, speak for Dennis, is downtime that you can't mow. And how often will you use this machine?
fairway mower, I mean, we can use it 5 days a week in the summertime.
Okay, so it's a heavily used piece of equipment that you can't go without very long. And do you have a backup?
Our old one will be a backup.
Okay, so there will be an old one.
It'll be a decent backup machine.
And the, warranties, the Toro is, 2-year limited warranty. I don't know what, the other two are.
2-year unlimited for us.
Which one was that? Who spoke?
John Deere.
John Deere.
2-year for Jacobson.
I found that on the spec page. You have one there for Jacobson, that indicates the warranty.
Probably. Would it be on
Yeah,
there?
it's a 2-year.
2 years.
Okay.
It sounds like they're all 2 years.
So, looking at the results, the big difference is, if there are any, sure. If I'd had a sheet, I would've put this down a little better, but, yeah.
Here, you're on. Did you have a sheet?
If John Deere would've provided us with a spreadsheet filled out, we would've. Just gotta borrow their laptop right now.
Okay, so the main difference from what I'm looking at was the horsepower
Horsepower,
and the cut. Where'd that go?
width,
The
100
height cut
versus,
range, the height. Like the height of cut Toro went up to 3 3/4 inches, and John Deere 3, and that's Jacobson, went to 3 3/4 inches, Toro to 3, and John Deere to
2.
2. So that was the big difference, and then the horsepower on the, I didn't write those
Can I
down.
talk to you about the open cut?
Yes.
It's basically just changing the front roller to a smaller roller, if you want to go smaller height, or a lower height cut. So with our standard 3-inch roller on there, that's going to be the lowest height you can go down is 3/4 of an inch. You can put a different front roller on there if you want to go lower. So,
I'm assuming there's some type of engineering around the size of the roller and the weight of the,
yeah.
so there's some reason they put it that, but you're saying there's an option that you
Yeah,
could.
if you want to go down to 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch or 3/8, we just change the roller.
Would it have any impact on the warranty?
Nope.
Okay. It looks like the cutting width, they're all 100. Jacobson said they were 108. I think everybody else was at least 100, I'm not sure. There was one no in here. You guys remember what
The
Jacobson?
hydraulic leak, yeah, the hydraulic leak.
A hydraulic leak detector.
We can put that on there, but we kind of talked about it last year, I think it's kind of a worthless option. For the most part, you're gonna have your hydraulic fluid all over your course before that thing even kicks in and tells you it's gone. Like, we have an indicator for low hydraulic fluid, which is gonna be basically the same thing as a hydraulic leak detector.
That's the main thing,
The only other difference is Jacobson mows 11 miles an hour versus 8, and that's a difference.
As a person coming from the golf course industry, you're never gonna mow at 11 miles an hour.
Really? Okay.
6 to 6.5 is about as fast as you're gonna wanna go to maintain the quality of cut that you want on the golf course.
Put your seatbelt on and let.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah.
So we came down to, your notes are better than mine as far as we came down to difference in gallons. Is that, we got one at 41 and one at,
We had a 17, a 14, and a 16.
that's kind of irrelevant.
17 for Jacobson, 14 for Toro, and 16 for John Deere.
is that still relevant to you?
I
Okay.
think that they're all sufficient.
Is there anything here, how about the leak detection, hydraulic leak detection? Is
As
that,
long as they have a meter on the deal, I think that's fine. You said low warning light is fine.
um,
I didn't see anything on the specs that changed my mind on any piece of equipment.
there's nothing you'd rule out? All of them meet the specs? Okay.
The maintenance crew, the biggest thing that they liked was the John Deere had the radiator on the back. That's the biggest thing the maintenance guys like. I mean, the John Deere had the radiator on the front, but that's the only thing that was different, that they seen that they noticed that they liked was the
That,
radiator.
no, the height, the way you set the height, wasn't that,
How you set the height, yeah, they kind of preferred that too on the height. I think we talked.
So do me a favor, for me, just explain the difference, radiation being in the front versus in the back.
Now, the radiator being in the very back of the unit, like the one we currently have, it tends to, they have screens on them, and that's where the grass seems to collect on that screen. And you have to make sure you keep that clean. The one with the radiator on the front, it's sitting right behind the driver's seat, so the grass doesn't seem to come up past there as it sucks in, so it stays cleaner. That's the biggest issue that they seen that they liked.
Is that something you have to deal with on a regular basis, or
Yeah.
do you have to get out and clean off the radiator?
You have to make sure they stay clean, you know, it depends on the conditions. If the grass is wet, it's not gonna blow up there, but when the grass clippings are dry, they blow everywhere.
Usually a non-issue if you're cleaning your radiators on a daily basis, whether it's in summer or winter.
Right.
So Bill, what were the prices again?
I can give them to you. I mean,
Okay.
I have those.
Here we go. One more question. Another difference between the two, and again, I'm just going on my own mowing experience. Canopy is available through Toro and John Deere, and Canopy with fan is not available with Jacobson. Is that a,
Yeah, the canopy is a huge factor for
So-
you guys out in the sun all day long.
yeah, so the Canopy top with fan, that's a no for Jacobson, right?
Don't have the fan option. The sun canopy is an option itself, but not with the fan.
Okay.
So Dennis, asking the question again, is that something you want to,
We definitely want that option if we can get it. You know, when you're out there mowing all day long, you need that canopy for one, just, I
Don't
mean,
bleed.
hard enough that when you're outside mowing all day to keeping us skincare lotion and stuff on, and staying cool. You know, it's hot out there in the middle of the fairways, summertime.
but your specs call for canopy top with fan.
Correct.
Okay.
That's all, we wanted that option.
Well, the bids between John Deere and Jacobson are so close. Right, Pat, you have the numbers down there.
Yeah, they're real close.
We cheated on each other.
Who's here from John Deere? What is your name, sir?
Cole Combs.
Cole?
Yeah, John Deere and Jacobson are less than $1,000 apart,
Yeah, they're real close.
with options or without options.
Are you from Toro?
I'm from
You're
Toro.
from Toro. What's your name, sir?
Ryan Haskins?
Ryan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And hang on, the gentleman from Jacobson, what is your first name?
Russell?
Russell. Thank you, sir.
So, do you want to exclude Jacobson, since it does not have the fan on it?
Well, the guys really wanted the fan.
Okay, well, that's the reason we put together
Yeah,
specs.
we need to know that, for sure.
Right, so that's, I'm trying to get the best thing what they want, because they're the ones sitting on it all day long. I know every now and then I do mow some fairways, but they're the ones that's doing most of the work.
Well, John Deere is the low bidder for the fairway mower. If we exclude Jacobson, is there anything, but looking at the John Deere and the Toro, is there anything there that we think warrants the difference in price for what we're looking for?
They all met the specs, and
Except for that, that's one of the specs.
Okay, the John Deere has a 2-inch height.
Our typical fairways that we mow is anywhere from usually a half to 1 inch. That's kind of our standard.
Okay.
That's where we.
2 inches would be.
You-
3/4, we mow at 3/4 mostly.
You didn't put specs in there for
least expensive.
range, did you?
Right, but Jacobson didn't have this.
That's one
Jacobson didn't have that, Dennis wants that.
Oh, and Deere didn't have that?
No, not there, it was,
One of the others?
Jacobson.
There was one more note down here, and I know we've covered, I don't have my cross-reference very good here. What was after the cutting height?
The cutting height?
Cutting frequency was after height.
Okay, and then,
Hydraulic leak.
It was this one here, it was that option that Jacobson didn't have.
oh, hydraulic leak protection,
Right there. John Deere doesn't have that.
John Deere doesn't have it.
Oh.
So that's, one thing Deere doesn't have is the leak
Oro
protection.
didn't have a fan.
And you said,
I think it was this one,
how does,
I think.
tell us again how Deere handles that?
Oh, we have a low warning light for hydraulic fluid, which is essentially what a leak detector kit is, because it's not gonna measure it a minute drop in the amount of oil pressure you have.
Dennis, from your standpoint, does it take a more, I mean,
Yeah,
you
Jacob.
lose fluid
Fan, yeah.
and what's the risk, the downside of, if people aren't paying attention and you're losing hydraulic fluid? Anything?
The big thing, you're gonna kill a lot of grass if you just mow it, and then eventually the mower's gonna stop because there's no fluid in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why you have a low level fluid, I think that suffices.
Okay, so as long as they're monitoring it.
Right. And does it have a light, or does it come on?
Yeah, it flashes and beeps.
Flashes and beeps?
It's pretty much standard for all fairway mowers now.
So do we have consensus on the Deere?
John Deere, that's the low bid, that's the one he wants.
Let me ask these gentlemen who put in all this work, do you feel like we've assessed this fairly? Isn't that a question to you? Do you have any concerns? Because I'll tell you what, we appreciate the work, and makes a big difference to the city to have people competing for the business. That's how we get the best prices, we feel like. So I want to make sure that you guys feel like we looked at this objectively.
Yeah, no, I just, to me, because we don't have a fan on our canopy,
Yeah.
even though we're 108-inch width of cut, 8 inches more, but you're gonna get a little more ground. We're getting thrown out because of that, so, me, I could probably get an aftermarket fan and put on the canopy.
Yeah.
But we didn't state that in the specs, but that's my 2 cents.
I understand that.
Yeah.
We ready for the next one?
Yeah, I think we've got a sheet here now, don't we, to write on it?
So you want me to move over to the next one, or you got it?
The next,
I've got a sheet here, I think I can,
Would you like me to bring up Excel?
the next. one
no,
will be-
no, I'm not that quick.
What's the next? The deep time, because we have 3 bids on that one. We've got 3 bids on that. Here's the Deere. Here's the GPT.
Hey, is that the same thing as the stairway?
Yeah,
aerator?
fairway deep
Yep.
time,
Okay.
fairway deep time, so.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
a blank one. Blank bid sheet. Blank.
Okay, this one is for the aerator, deep time aerator.
Yeah, deep time.
Would you mind taking the same notes you took last time, you're doing better, I'll monitor that. Okay,
I just want to explain to you a little bit about what we're looking for in a deep tine aerator. Is one, mainly to use on tees, fairways, and around the greens, but then also once a year to, or so, to be able to actually use on our greens to, we have very old greens out there. So The other aerator that we'll be looking at is made just for greens. And it typically will do 3.5, 4 inches, but maybe 5 inches deep on the green. But our greens are old and they get compacted real far down deep, you know. They're usually about a 12-inch profile. So a greens aerifier kind of does the top profile, but once in a while it's helpful to run a deep tine aerifier over it so that that deep part of the green gets broken up so that the water will drain through it. But then you also use it running up and down the fairways. That make sense?
And you can change the height of it and all of
You
that.
change tines, all these aerators, you change tines on, you know, you can get different tines, how deep you wanna go, you wanna go 4 or 5 inches, so.
Okay,
So,
you've got Jacobson, Bill,
I got Toro.
Toro, that's right,
I've got Jacob.
Got Jacobson,
Jacobson,
yeah.
and Deere. Minimum depth, 8 inches.
I think they,
Yeah, that's not how
That's not how it's set up on that, okay.
Well, yeah, that's what mine says.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're all gonna say that.
Toro's got one set of tines for 7/8 of an inch up to 11 inches, and one set of tines for 5/8 inch up to 9 inches. They're all, it says it's optional, so you can have what you want, right?
Yes, sir.
They're gonna be different, you know.
Hmm?
There's a wide range of tines that you can purchase for
Yeah.
each aerifier.
But Dennis, what's, on this item number 1, minimum requirements?
Yeah, the minimum needs to be that it'll verify 8 inches deep.
Okay, I think we need to confirm that. So, on number 1, do you guys, Bill, do you have a minimum depth of 8 inches?
It says these are all optional from 7/8 of an inch up to 11 inches, and for 5/8 of an inch up to 9
Yours
inches.
says 8
So,
and 4. Sorry.
depends on what tines you get.
Minimum requirements.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
This must go from
Yeah, four, yeah, minimum. 3.5. It'll go from.
5/8 an inch up to
But it's all.
11 inches.
So it's kind of hard.
You can get with this one?
It's like if you're at the rack specs and red.
Okay,
What are we looking at here?
Well, I'm,
Yeah, these are just the tines that are optional. It meets all these minimum requirements.
okay, you meet all the
Yes,
minimums.
sir.
Okay.
Aerator speed, that's listed here.
Or medium.
We're 26,000 square feet per hour. Ours does 48,000 square feet per hour.
Okay.
Okay,
48,
48,000 square feet per hour.
That's a limit.
it's a big, seems like that's a big difference.
That, if everybody the minimum requirements, all 3 of them meet the minimum requirements?
Are there any gotchas in here, guys, as far as anything we ought to know, as, from the minimum requirement standpoint about conditions under which you meet minimum requirements that may not be obvious?
I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
they're all pretty much the same.
I'm sorry, Doc. Go ahead. The piece that we're making, our deep tine aerifier, is not a piston drive aerifier, okay? And I didn't see any specs as far as piston drive. It's a drum style, and so you'll have a big tank on top, and you fill it with water, and that gets your depth, you know? It's a very simple piece of equipment. You can pull it across greens if you want to. You've got options on your shadow tines, you know? As far as coring tines or shadow tines or just slicing tines. So it's not a piston drive. It doesn't hook up to a PTO. It's not hydraulic lift. It's just a 3-point on the back of your tractor.
Yeah. How about the other 2? Are they piston drive?
Piston drives.
Okay. I would anticipate we're gonna see a big difference in price.
Probably so.
Hey, Cole, is yours also piston driven? Okay, thank you.
So here's a
Okay,
picture.
then the aerator speed is an important part of this. Everybody meets the minimums.
What are the area speeds for each one of these?
Hmm?
What's the one for, that
Yeah.
you've got?
Toro's is 48,000 square feet per hour at 500 RPM at a 4-inch setting. So for 4 inches, you can get 48,000 square foot per hour at 500 RPM on your machine.
All right, just a second.
That's,
Okay,
yeah,
so Jacobson is 26,000 feet per hour, 4-inch spacing. Saying that right?
and Deere,
Ours is the minimum, 2.5 at 26,000 square feet. That's 2.5 inch spacing on 4, so. It'll get closer to that if you go up to 4.
so, okay. This
At
will
4-inch
be,
spacing, it says 4-inch spacing, you get 48,000 square foot per hour at 500 RPM.
so it sounds like the variables here are how deep are you going and how close are you putting them together? Is there anything else that's determines the speed? And yours is probably,
It's how aggressive you guys wanna be, that's what.
yeah, how fast you can drive.
Yeah. And how close, the slower you go, the closer your hole spacing is gonna be.
Are these on a drum? Is that what you said, or that? Yeah,
There. Here's, I agree.
okay. Oh, that's okay. I get the concept. Okay, one set of tines for 7/8 inch by 11 inch.
Yeah, John Deere needs
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's an option.
Yes, and so the 3/4 to 4-inch, that's what it can go to, right? So yes.
Okay, one set of tines for 5/8 inch by 9 inch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Technical service manuals,
Yes.
Optional.
Yes.
what does optional, does that mean for additional fee, or does that mean?
I don't
if you
know.
want
It
I-
comes with the machine.
Toro's is optional.
It's an option,
Technical service manual?
yes.
Okay. Training on how to use and maintain.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, how do you guys do the training? Is it on site? Do we have to send somebody somewhere? Okay.
It's on site.
It's on site? About how long is it? How much training is there?
As much as Dennis wants.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not a certain number of hours or anything like that? Really no constraints around it?
Till you're ready.
Until they get it.
Yeah, it's a comfort level thing.
Okay.
Some of these pieces of equipment can be pretty complicated when setting up, take your training on how to set it up.
But I think what I heard is that, and I mean, there's maintenance schedules, preventative maintenance, regular maintenance. That's all part of I'm assuming the training, and there will be packets on what needs to be maintained, when, where. That's pretty obvious. All freight and on-site pre-charges should be included,
Yes.
Yes.
yes. Delivery requirements. What are the delivery terms?
Delivery, 2/1/2021.
2021, okay.
Yeah, 2/1.
So is that
What?
February?
Yeah.
So 60 days.
2/1/21.
Because you're not gonna use it till March anyway.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's,
And service requirements are yes. They have a service technician available within 48 hours.
and I'm assuming that's just like the discussion we had previously, it's
Yes, sir.
one thing.
Jacobson, delivering 30 days.
Okay. Deere,
30 days, and I also have a demo available in 10.
Okay. Dennis, the list warranty on parts and labor, 1 year? All of them 1 year? You guys see 1 year on there?
It'll be 2 years on there.
2 years?
This is a 2-year or
Not as complicated.
500 hours, is that what that is?
500 hours, that's correct.
Yeah, 2 years or 500 hours. It's a little worry or my eyes are going bad, one of the two, or both.
Okay, so did you get that?
2 years.
Okay.
And John Deere's 2 years, or one? One?
And one's 2 years or 500 hours, I think it's got it.
Right, that's Toro.
Okay.
That's Taurus. 2 years, 500 hours, or 500 hours.
Dennis, what do we have now? What do we have now?
Ours is so old, we don't even use it, it's not really usable, so it's a real old drum style that's not even made to go across the green. Ours is.
So, let's go to the pricing then. Bill?
Cost,
Yeah.
price, for the Toro is $27,592.18.
Okay, price for the Jacobson's $10,210.
One more time, please.
$10,210.
Thank you.
Okay, with John Deere, we have a Wyman Terra Spike XFX. New is $39,900. The demo is $35,100.
So, as far as this equipment goes, the only one that we, were able to demo was the Weideman. John Deere brought that out, we used it on our fairways, we used it on our greens, and, we were really impressed by it. I mean, it did everything we wanted to do. He did show us a video, I don't have that set up for y'all to watch, but he did show us a video when you're going down the fairway, how it seemed to run faster than the other two set up right beside it. That was a similar type machine.
Is that the one
I
that's made
don't
in,
know.
is that the one that's made in Germany?
Yes.
The price one or which one?
So,
I don't have that video with me, and I'm not sure what machine you guys are quoting, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's what I'm saying.
Right. So, side by side, I guarantee you we're faster.
They're probably a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
so,
It's just that Wiedemann is known for this product. That is what made them a company, is this product. It's well built.
it was a very impressive machine that, would do everything we needed to do, and the life cycle of that machine, they said, was 20 years. So if you take care of it, do the proper maintenance, it's gonna be a 20-year piece of equipment. I was very impressed with it, the way we used it, on the fairways and on the greens. So I know it is a lot more expensive, but that's the only one, when you go kick the tires, that's the only one we was able to kick the tires with, you know?
And the demo is the one that we brought.
And
up.
it was faster? Wasn't there something about you probably pay for yourself in 7 years or something like that?
They had some, depends on, what models you're comparing it against, but yeah, it runs so much faster, you use less fuel, less maintenance, less labor, less fuel, less labor. And I think over the study that they showed us over 7 or 10 years,
It was 10 years.
10 years, yeah, that it would, you'd recoup a lot of that cost of, depending on how much that was.
And now, this 20 years, is that, just help me, is that a warranty? Where's that
No.
20 years come?
It's just kinda like, my understanding, it's kinda like, well, you buy a piece of equipment, most of them, depending on what you're looking at, have a kind of a life cycle, because of parts availability and all this, so they say theirs is 20 years.
And
So
their
some-
warranty is 1 year, but I've seen them replace stuff well out of the 1-year warranty, and something breaks on a new machine, and they come out with the improvement, the product improvement. 5 years after it's out of warranty, I've seen them replace that warranty.
Pretty much a standard practice.
Yep. It was just a real impressive machine for what I thought we could use it for.
What was the differences in price again?
Huge.
Yeah, it's a
Huge.
big difference.
New is almost 40,000, Jacobson was a little over 10,000, if I have this right, and the Toro was 27,592 and some change. I'd like to ask the gentleman from Jacobson, I mean, this is a huge difference, can you explain that?
Well, it's not piston drive, man.
It's not piston.
Not a
okay.
piston drive.
Okay.
I probably should have spec'd that.
Run
Yeah.
drive. So it's
Didn't.
very simple piece, you know, you don't have near as many moving parts. You're still gonna get your verification on the fairways and things that you wanna do. It's just that you're, you know, if you get, it just doesn't have as many moving parts on it.
Yeah, I think, this seems to be and I know you're not an expert on every piece of equipment, you can't be as knowledgeable as these guys. But that's a pretty big miss, I think, on this, that we didn't spec. That's
Piston drive.
the piston
Yeah,
drive,
I
because this gentleman put together, you know, he meets the specs. And I do understand the concept, I mean, it's a,
Still simple concept,
yeah,
you know. You're still getting your spacing, you're still getting your verification holes that you want.
just gotta get your water levels right, depending on how deep you wanna go, and
Sure. Yeah.
I've never seen, but, you know,
you didn't anticipate,
I've never seen one that rolls on the ground be used on a green. And, I mean, have you ever seen it 11-inch tines used on a green?
Yeah, these would, you would use the sports turf times that they make for these on greens. A little closer spacing and everything, and your depth and everything.
Yeah, I've never have
So
seen that.
that's for short, yeah, they have the sports turf times that you can put on those for going across greens, yes.
I didn't, I'm just not, like I said, I haven't seen it, haven't demoed it, so I'm just wasn't aware of it. The one,
That's not its main design, let's put it that way. The main design for it is fairway verifier, which, that's what I read on the specs, was fairway area.
The Wiedemann, I know, and probably the Toro too, they have it, probably, a rake, a kick rake that helps break the soil up. As it deflects, it goes down and deflects. Y'all may have better terminology.
Shatterquake.
Yeah.
The heave.
The heave, yeah, the heave is what it's kinda called.
Are there other courses around that have this type of aerator? Like other courses in our area? Southern Hills?
Southern Hills.
Okay.
How's it
But none of the,
They have the Toro. The exact model I quoted you.
Chamber Law has that exact one that we did there in Monkey Island.
you know, I know we have a budget, and I feel like this would be a great way to meet the budget, a good savings if we knew what the other items are gonna cost.
Right.
Could we
You know-
table this and?
Yeah,
and then look at the
absolutely,
other
yeah,
two?
see what,
And then see,
Absolutely.
cause I have no idea what these other
Yep.
pieces are gonna cost.
I think that's why I wanted to open them all up.
and we didn't have, I know we've had this, I feel like you've had some, seen some demos with Deere. We didn't have demos in the specs, but I recognize the value of that. Did you guys have a chance from a demo standpoint? Did you have conversations with these gentlemen about?
Yeah, they brought their fairway mowers out, a couple of them brought the greens aerator out. I went and looked at the one at Shangri-La. I did go look at that one, didn't see it in use, but we did look at it. And, so, yeah,
So,
they've known that they could bring them all, any of them could bring them out and demo them. And they did what they could, you know, sometimes these companies don't have them just readily available.
That was our issue, we just didn't have a demo unit at the time.
so if, to ask a question, do you feel like you had fair access to Dennis to ask questions and put, you know, put your information in front of him and your
Yes.
equipment? Okay.
Can the Toro or the one that you looked at can go both ways? Or are we gonna look at it?
No,
another way?
yeah, this one here
So
needs
they're
to be,
single
this one is
purpose.
a specialized, this
Okay.
one is just once in a while for the greens, mainly for the fairways, but once a year probably for that.
Okay, so it's not like you just make an adjustment, run it on the green?
No.
Well, if we were gonna just summarize before we move on real quick, what are you saying you like about the Deer over the Toro?
Well, one, unfortunately, I haven't been able to see the Toro, use the Toro, and that's just an unfortunate deal. The Wiedemann, which is John Deere, represents that company, we loved it. I mean, it did everything out there that we needed to do. It's you buy one time, for the next 20 years, the city won't never have to buy another one. As long as it's maintained right, it's gonna be a long-lasting piece of equipment.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's
Right.
not in the warranty.
Hmm.
That's not warranty.
No, no,
That's just,
right.
we hope that.
We're hoping.
Right.
We're hoping.
20-year life
Exactly.
cycle.
Yeah. We try to get the most out of all of our equipment out there.
Definitely.
So, but as far as, when we took it across the green, it did what we wanted, run it out in the fairway, it did what we needed. You know, in some places on our golf course, our fairways do have a little rock underneath them, and you could probably explain better on how that piece of equipment handles when it hits rocks.
Yeah, it's just basically got a breakaway system, so you always want those tines to be pointing away from the tractor or straight up and down. So, I mean, it's the same as, most of these type of air fryers have that same breakaway system. They hit the rocks and they just bounce off and deflect.
Do you have any reason to believe, though, that Toro won't do the same thing that Deere does?
I don't have any reason not to believe, no, but, I mean, my biggest deal is I haven't seen it, you know? And I've never been one to go spend a lot of money, or even small amounts of money and not see something. I gotta put my hands on it.
And here's what I would say, just as we're going forward on this stuff, is, to me, that ought to be a part of the specs. If we have to see the equipment before you're gonna accept a bid on it, we just
Oh,
need, we need to say that, because I don't think it's,
That makes sense.
fair for people to go through all this work and,
Right. I never thought about that, so that's a good way of doing that.
If we wanted Dennis to be able to see the Toro, are you in Tulsa? How far would he have to go to see one?
Southern Hills is right in Pleasant.
I know that, sir. So that, I mean, you're telling us to go to Southern Hills, not your company, or?
No, I could probably talk for Russ Myers at Southern Hills, and we could probably bring it out and look at it, but
Okay.
that wasn't an option at the time.
Right. Right.
Well, what's the life expectancy of the Toro versus the
John Deere.
other one?
It's gonna be similar. I mean, they're pretty much the same machine. The same engineering and everything goes into them, into both machines.
Go on to the other bids, any other
Yeah.
questions?
I just have a question about, we're looking at this deep tine aerator, which is also the fairway aerator, and a greens. Can they be interchangeable or not at all? No, okay.
You can use the deep tine on the greens,
On the
but
greens.
it's not
You
really.
can't use a green one on the fairway.
You could, but
Yeah, but
it's
it's not-
real slow. You kind of dedicate that one.
But you could use the fairway aerator on the green, for the greens.
Right.
Okay.
Once in a while, just to, our
Not
idea
routinely,
is just
not
to go
routinely
deep,
though.
just to go real deep,
Okay.
bust that soil up and down deep.
Curious, do you have to change tires before you go on the green? Or do they use the same tires stay on the equipment on the aerators?
So his tractor tires are perfectly fine.
There's specs for it. So what do we decide on the deep time?
Well, these
We
things
decided-
don't have aerators.
I don't think we have, I think we,
Wait,
We're
and see
gonna
how
wait.
all the bids come in.
Everybody
We'll wait and see how they all
so it's
bids.
hard to.
Okay,
See what we can do with the bids.
okay.
Tires,
could we really?
Now, the green aerator, is that the next
Okay.
I know.
one?
Could you look at that one, that Toro one?
KGD
Right, so we could
doesn't
maybe
have
go
a green
to
air
Southern
air
Hills and look
fryer.
at that one?
Floating tire.
Which one are we doing
They have to
next?
bring it.
Forwards, you can actually.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, the green
He's
aerator.
willing to do that. I
Aerator.
say, let's look at that, and maybe we can take it.
Okay. KGT doesn't have one, so there'll just be two bids.
Oh, who didn't have one? On this one?
Yeah, Jacobson doesn't have one.
Okay.
So I'm looking at the greens aerator, all right.
everybody got the,
All right, the greens aerator. We have two bids, Toro and Toro and
John Deere.
Deere.
okay, first requirement, in two-cylinder air-cooled engine.
Air-cooled and 23 horsepower,
How much?
23,
23, okay.
Toro.
Yes, air-cooled at 25 horsepower.
Reverse warning comply.
No,
No,
Fuel tank capacity show.
7.5 gallon,
5 gallons.
Fuel gauge show.
no,
Yes,
Hour meter comply.
yes.
yes.
Aerator speed.
0.77 to 1.51 miles per hour variable hydraulic drive.
3.5 miles per hour, aerator speed.
Transport speed.
3.5 variable hydraulic drive.
Yes, 3.5 miles per hour.
Hydraulic system.
Remote spin on filter, 3 gallon. A remote spin on filter and 3 gallon.
You're on a hydraulic system?
Yeah.
Yes.
That aerator speed on ours is not right. I mean, you can probably poke holes at 3.5 miles an hour, but it's not gonna do what you want it to do. That's why I put on there, that was my fault. That is not a good spec.
Drivetrain.
Hydrostatic,
4 gear.
So, well, okay. Dimensions.
105 inches long by 50 inches wide, 43-inch tracking width.
We are 84 inches long, 58 inches wide, 44 inches tall, weighing 1,312 pounds.
Windrower kit.
Optional,
Yes,
Tire scrapers.
optional,
yes,
Rear roller kit.
yes,
no,
Tine set up for quad mini tines.
yes,
yes,
One complete set of mini tines included.
optional,
yes,
One complete set of 1/2 inch hollow core tines included.
optional,
yes,
One complete set of 5/8 inch hollow core tines included.
optional,
yes,
Time set up for 4 3/4 inch mounts.
Yes.
Casey?
Sorry.
Time set up for
Work's trying to-
time set up for 4 3/4 inch mounts.
Yes,
Core solution attachment or similar.
Yes.
yes. No, I'm sorry. Core solution attachment, we do not. Under does not, no.
Technical service manual comply.
Available for purchase.
Yes,
Training on how to use and maintain.
Yes.
yes,
All freight on-site pre-charges.
Yes.
yes.
Delivery date.
2/1/21.
Okay,
30 days.
okay. Service requirements.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What's the warranty? Parts and labor.
2 years.
35,696. I think that's what it says. Your, your fax, Xerox machine's, a little wavy. Price,
Oh, yeah, 35,698 is the
Yeah.
price.
yeah.
What about the warranty?
Warranty should be listed on the spec sheet.
The warranty is probably over here, isn't it? Yeah.
That's
Boy.
right there. 2-year, 500 hours.
Okay, the same as that other one was, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So you guys' warranties are based on hours or calendar time? Yours is
Yes, sir.
strictly calendar, no hours?
We're on all those.
I'm sorry, you were gonna say something?
How much was the deer?
There's a lot of people that,
2 year.
purchase those aerifiers, and they can put 1,000 hours a year on them. It's like a company that goes out and does
Yeah,
that specific thing,
I know it's, yeah,
so, yeah, they put that in a box.
okay.
They won't, you guys won't get them anywhere close to limiting the hour.
They might put 500 hours on it in 5 or 6 years.
What'd it come in at? Dollars?
Cost?
How much? Pricing? Bill?
35,696 and 698.
98? We're gonna have to get you a magnifying glass.
I think the printer must have messed up a little bit there.
Okay, 35,698.
The John Deere AirCore 800 aerator is $20,000.
Does that price include the core collector on the back?
Well, yeah, no, it does not, because I didn't offer an option for that. That includes the windrow kit.
So Lori, when you go through there, it seemed like there were some differences there.
There's a few, the
There were a lot of big
engine,
differences.
yeah, where, starting at the top, the 2,300, the 2,500, is that the air cooled, is that the horsepower, what was that?
That's the horsepower
Horsepower.
rating.
Yes,
It's just a different engine.
okay. Difference in fuel tank, 7.5 gallon for Toro, 5 for John Deere. John Deere has a fuel gauge, Toro does not.
No, they don't.
Then the aerator speed and the transport speed.
That, like I
That's
said,
the big
That
difference.
was the spec that was way off on mine. It's
Yeah.
not correct.
Yeah, so we might talk about that. And then the dimensions were pretty much off. The Toro was 105 by 50 by 43, and John Deere 84 by 58 by probably 4. I have a 4, I must,
44.
44, read out of room.
The big difference between the Toro and the John Deere is the tires set inside the aerification line. So you don't have tires setting out and running over plugs and over old aerification holes. That's the big thing about a Toro. That's the reason why the head
So what is the actual working width, would you guys say, between your two?
It's 50 inches is what
Okay,
is
because
listed.
yours is
The tracking width is the actual tire width.
Mine's closer to
40,
40.
and yours, the tire's set outside. And just so I understand this, if I understand how you guys are explaining it, it's with the tire setting within, you're not gonna be running over those as opposed to,
You're not gonna be running over the area that
Yeah.
you've already airfilled.
Like we were talking about compaction earlier, so you just relieve compaction, and then our tire comes across the spot where you just
yeah,
air fine, so it's kind of counterproductive.
yeah.
I mean, that flat out, they kick our butt on this machine. It's just, everybody does. It's the Cadillac.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Toro is the best machine for greens. Everybody will tell you that.
What else here on the specs did we see that were,
There was a lot of optional, like the windrow kit was optional, tire scraper optional, which, let's see, then the bottom three, a complete set of mini tines, those were all optional, where with the John Deere, they came with those. The only no, the roller kit was a no on John Deere and a yes on Toro.
Yeah, that core collector was a no for me too.
so when you're talking, is that as simple as it sounds, the cores go into some type of a hopper or something, or?
Basically, the core collector drags behind the aerification head,
Okay.
and it drags all the plugs that you pulled up out of the green off to the edge of the green and deposits it on the edge, rather than having to push them off with a shovel or snow shovel.
It looks like a box blade with a door, like a trap door almost. Everything sits on top of it, and then as soon as you pick it up, it's in one nice neat pile. You don't have to have 5 guys out there shoveling and raking.
This is a huge labor saver for us, because the way we currently do it right now, we aerify the greens.
Those guys are hard to find.
We take 3 or 4 guys and we actually shovel all that off. The core collector just drags them all to the edge, and you don't have to do all that pushing. It's a huge saver for us.
And it also maintains the integrity of the green too. I mean, you're not having all those extra footprints and compaction going back over what you just aerified.
So, what'd we end up with, differences in price again?
It's like 15,000.
15,000,
15,000.
a little over 15,000.
15,000 difference in the pricing between the two.
And everybody I talked to in the industry, and even if you heard these gentlemen, they said, you know, Toro for your greens, it's the best aerifier out there on the market. It does, plus it has the capability of collecting those cores and bringing them to the edge. So, I mean,
Do we know what other courses use the Toro?
everybody I talked to used the Toro. Everybody.
Okay.
We can give you a list too.
Okay. That's
Prefer
okay.
not to.
At least they're honest, right? They're a bunch of good guys. So if we could, maybe go into the equipment lift, unless anybody has any other questions on that, see where
Okay.
we're at.
So while we're getting those out, let me ask you one more thing, Dennis, since I
All right.
really know nothing.
That one, yeah.
Between the deep tine
And
and the green aerator, which one would you say is more, I don't know, what's the word? More valuable to
Right
use
now, the greens aggregator is more valuable for us.
as far as being the time saver and,
Fairway.
So how often do you aerate greens?
The greens, well, when we do a complete aerifications twice a year, and that would consist of hauling those cores off the green, core harvesting, you know, and coring the greens and hauling that off, putting sand on them. And then ideally, if we have, like with our piece of machinery, unfortunately, it's really old, slow. We try to go in about once a month, once every 6 weeks, and do an aerification with real small tines. It's really hard to even see. That's why we have the needle tine specced on there. It doesn't disrupt play, but it pokes holes in the green. So you try to do that from, April on, May, right in there, about once every, if we can do it once a month, it's great, but we can't do it that, because we're just too slow. But ideally, we do that once a month, and come back in the fall and do another core harvest, core aerification. So you're probably looking at running that machine across our greens. And doing that takes, it's about an 8-hour process with the Toro. From talking to him, we do all of our greens in about 8, 9 hours probably. Pretty easy. And so you're doing that probably 5, 6 times a year. 2 of those would be with the core aerification, and the other 4 would probably be with just the needle tines.
And I'm sure you've thought through, 6 times a year, 8 hours at a time, 48 hours of machine time.
Right. We probably did it this year, I think we did it 4 times total. We're just so slow, our machine's so slow, it takes, for example, it took my guy to just do the needle tines, it took him 12 and a half hours. And that he got out there real early, and he didn't quit till, late in the day, 7:30 or something like that. But it took him 12 and a half hours to do them. And we can probably do it, it's gonna probably save us 4 hours easy with the Toro.
That seems to be, just without knowing the details, seems to be a pretty low utilization rate of a piece of equipment though.
It is, yeah. It's a specialized piece of equipment, but, you can't rent them, because everybody wants to do them all at the same time when it comes time to do the verification.
So there's nobody that we could buy the service from, or?
You can, but then you're on their schedule, and however many people that they're trying to do ball fields and everything else,
Yeah.
those people.
And I realize this is kind of out of order of the process, but we can help educate ourselves. What are we paying? What are we looking at here on dollars spend? I'm not talking about just this one.
Oh, where'd that one sheet go, Lydia?
The budget's 130, under 30,000, is that what you're asking?
No, I was asking on this piece of
Just
equipment.
this one? Oh, okay.
From 20,000 or 35,000?
20 to 35,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? The equipment lift is something that we was hoping that by this time we'd have a maintenance building. That was our thinking about 2.5 years ago or so, when that bond issue went through. But here we are, we still don't have that. It's a slower process, I think, than everybody anticipated getting that done. So, but with the equipment, in order to maintain it right and have it in a safe manner, be able to maintain it in a safe manner, we need this lift. And it's a fairly low expense item, but we're gonna have that in our new building. We include the cost of that in a new building, but new building's down the road. So, we did figure out a way to put this lift in our cart building. Can't put it, it's too big to put in our, maintenance building, but we sectioned off the back of our cart building, we can put it in there. Same thing with my sprayer. My sprayer, the only place it'll go in is in my cart building. It won't go in the booms and everything. You'd have to take them apart to get it into the maintenance building so we can keep it where it's heated. So we're kind of using the back third of our cart building for maintenance. So this piece of equipment will allow those guys that we've hired to do the maintenance on the equipment in a safe manner. That's the biggest thing that concerns me when we're having to jack up equipment, put jack blocks under them to try to be as safe as we can, so that no piece of equipment falls on them. And this makes it a lot faster and better for them to do their work.
And
mainly all carry the same one.
Yeah, they all carry the
So
same.
it's,
So this is, as far as specs goes, they're all,
There's no options. You guys didn't bid different options on this or
So
anything?
this is the
we
GL
just
nine.
included the options in the spec, the eight gallon, the 18 gallon, and the 2
Right.
ton. Those are all included in the price.
So you
did
feel com-
everybody include all the options in your price?
I don't think I did.
That's the only difference, is the options, could be different.
Well, we don't have much, let's just run through them real
Yep.
quick, I'm gonna make sure. 9,000, well, we know that, lift height's gonna be the same, overall height, width between columns. You guys let me know if there's something here that you think there might be some variability. Oil drain, 818, jack stand, 2 ton. Now,
The options, I think, would be the oil drain, the 8 gallon and the 18 gallon and the 2 ton jack stand. I think those, these made it 3 things. Did y'all include all that in yours?
I didn't
My,
include it in
my
mine.
price includes that price.
Jacobson, it's included.
Okay. John Deere's with all 3 options is $6,087.
with those of the 8 gallon, 18 gallon, and 2 ton,
Yes, sir.
And price again, 6,000,
And $87.
okay?
Jacob,
Bill? Oh, Lord, go ahead, Lord.
okay, Jacobson is $6,408.
Okay.
And, this one is $7,621.
Okay. Power requirement. Got minimum 4-inch thickness.
That was just on our specs that we have to have.
Okay, I'm assuming same services, manuals, anything additional that you guys see that's add-on there that,
30 days from John Deere
okay.
for delivery.
60 days, Jacobson.
2/1/21.
Just out of curiosity, what's the difference between, well, you're saying capacity for this equipment, it can lift 4.5 tons, 9,000 pounds. Right?
Fairway more is pretty heavy. If we need to pull a pickup truck, change oil on that, you can do that. It's made for golf equipment.
Do we know about, and I know you said concrete, 4-inch thickness, do we know that that's solid enough to?
I'm assuming it is, but even if it's not, you can put a metal plate down. I believe I've checked into that. You
Okay.
have to put a metal plate to disperse the weight. You can't tell without drilling into it. But I'm assuming that building is at least 4 inches thick.
That would be the standard,
Yeah,
construction
I think for slabs would minimum, but something we'd probably wanna make,
Yeah, we'll drill into it and measure it and make sure the depth. If not, then we'll use a metal plate to disperse it.
Dennis, here's where I'm at. On your lift, they're all, well, you're fine. They're all the same, right? That's a no-brainer. We can bid that. That looks, that's on paper. And then your mower, you've looked at those. They're on paper. We've looked at the specs.
Correct.
And I feel comfortable that we could bid that. But as far as these 2 aerators, there's such a big difference that I think between his product and then maybe that maybe us bidding that, the low bidder, they're not the same thing. So it doesn't matter what the bid, that's where I'm at. Like, his bid is $10,000 and his is $40,000. Well, his is way cheaper, but they're not the same thing. I think
Correct.
that maybe needs to be tabled and let you do some more. For me, I would feel better. I'm trusting I don't know what you want, but there's a big price discrepancy in these bids.
Well,
You know, right now I'm just looking at what's the best for the city. Well, this is $400 cheaper, and it's the same thing. These are not the same thing.
right.
I'm leaning on you to tell me, spend the extra money, or you want this, or it fits in, but they're not the same. For us to bid, to say, well, we're gonna bid, then the tank roller is a different piece of equipment.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's kinda, for us to pick that out for you, I think is kinda hard.
Right,
We don't use it.
the John Deere fairway mower, it's less money, and it I think it met all the specs, so I'm good with that. The equipment lift, that's like you said, that's simple numbers. John Deere met all the specs, plus they were actually lower. When you go to the fairway aerifier, there's a big chunk of money. One, if piston drive, I think, is what we need. It wasn't spec that away. That's what I was trying to spec, is that type of piece of equipment, and that's my fault. I didn't probably do a good enough job speccing that kind of piece of equipment. So when I look at it myself, the Toro or John Deere is what we're looking for on those two items for our use out there. I think that's what would be best for us. Now, I haven't seen the Toro. I would like to see the Toro. The Toro would get us within budget. I think I could, be within budget if we did the Toro fairway aerifier and the Toro greens aerifier. The Toro greens aerifier is the only way to go, in my opinion. I've talked to everybody in the industry, and even these gentlemen say the Toro. So that only leaves us the decision is the Toro fairway aerifier or the John Deere fairway aerifier, one of those two. The Toro, I think, would keep us right at our budget numbers of the 130, but I haven't seen it yet, and I wouldn't want to buy it until I could see it and see it operate. So
How long is that price, how long is that bid good for?
I would say it's probably good till the end of 2021.
So if we tabled this and let you go look at it, is that something you'd wanna do, is go check that out?
they have to bring it here because we have to use it on our course.
Right.
I can't use it out at Southern Hills. He wouldn't want me aerifying up his fairways.
Probably not.
Russ is a good guy. He's actually has helped us a lot, but I don't think he would want us aerifying his fairways. But I wouldn't mind demoing it. I need to be able to see it in action and even, can put it on a green to test it on that also.
So Ryan, can you make that happen?
It all depends on availability and if we have a demo unit in stock. But I can talk to Russ and see if he would let us, more than likely I could talk Russ into letting us borrow it for a day. I mean, I don't think that would be an issue at all.
And Russ, he's at Southern Hills?
Yeah, he's the superintendent at Southern Hills.
Okay.
I have to calculate the numbers real quick.
They got better dirt over there.
No rocks.
They
No
know
rock.
easier.
That's right.
What we're doing now, what did the numbers turn out to be on the equipment left?
Oh,
No,
I put that
it's
up.
different.
John Deere is 6,087.
87.
Toro is 7621, and Jacobson is 6408.
So we've got pretty much an apples to apples on the equipment, same equipment.
Right.
Yes.
Dennis, I come up with $745 under budget if you go with Toros on this.
Anything, you guys, the way we're looking at this equipment left, anything here that we're not considering, that we need to be considering, is everybody comfortable with?
It's all, that is the exact same machine, the exact piece of
If you
equipment.
wanna spend another $400 for ours, that's fine, you're gonna use the same thing.
Okay, well, that makes it pretty easy.
On the Jacobson, Russell, what was the delivery date? Was that 30 days?
On the golf lift,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
30 days, okay.
It's probably 30 days for Toros as well.
Okay.
Golf lift is very, very good.
They come out of Dallas.
Yeah.
So even if you can't get them, you can go down there and get them from them.
So just for me to recap, if we did the John Deere fairway mower, the Toro fairway aerifier, If I see it, I say, yeah, I think that thing works really good. The Toro Greens Aerifier and the John Deere equipment lift, that puts us at a little over 129.5 or so. So that keeps us within our budget to do it that way. But like I said, my only stipulation is being able to see a $30,000 piece of equipment.
Does the gentleman from Jackson have a piston-driven aerator that we could demo?
Not a walk behind or a fairway.
And where's this money coming from? Where's the money coming from to pay for this?
Your retirement IRA.
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering. I mean, where, is this coming out of your budget? Is this coming, where's the money coming from?
Some of it is already budgeted.
The city's capital outlay. My recommendation after looking at everything is the John Deere Fairway Mower, the Toro Greens Aerifier, and the John Deere Equipment Lift. Then table the Fairway Aerifier till I can do further
Yeah,
testing.
I agree. That's what you feel comfortable with.
So which one of those was not the low bidder?
The Toro Greens Aerifier was not low. And,
The John Deere fairway mower was low bidder,
correct, and John Deere Equipment Lift was low,
okay?
and that's the only ones. The Jacobson had a low bid on the Fairway Aerifier, but it's not a crystal bid.
And so our takeaway from that one is, shame on us, we should have spec'd it. Added that as a spec in there. I mean, to be fair to these guys.
Correct, yeah, that's my
Yeah.
fault too.
Well, not looking to point blame, just saying, how did we improve our process?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's, and then the other thing, like you said, is making sure that we've tested before they can bid on it. I like that.
And so we're going with the Toro on the greens because hands down, that's the better machine.
It's the
Even though
best
not the low
machine.
bid, hands
Right.
down, that's the best.
That's on the green Aerifier, right?
Now, was, the only thing back to that, Ryan, was there anything that was options on that we didn't have? I didn't follow the options real good. So if we bought the Toro Greens Aerifier, did we get the options we wanted?
The four-time time block, 3/4 inch mount, I'm gonna call them quad time blocks, but the smaller time blocks. The turf guards, the core collector, the roller. It goes behind the vending time blocks, the small time blocks. I think that was it.
The tire scrapers, were they on there or not? They needed to.
You guys don't have tires there, but you don't need
Tire
them.
scrapers are an option, but you don't need them if you're not running over any of your own floors.
Okay.
They're standard on gear because you run over.
But you did have the Core Solutions attachment.
Yes, sir, that was in the price.
Right. Now, was that a Core Solution or is that a similar?
It's core solution.
Okay. Right. That's the one we wanted anyway. Okay. Just want to clarify the options that he had listed.
So you've got three of them decided on. One of them's gonna go and you're gonna see that we know what the cost and things, as long as you're satisfied with how it, drives.
Right, because if for some reason the Toro doesn't work out on the fairway, and the only one is the John Deere, the that would put us about $11,000 over budget.
Okay.
So hopefully the Toro would work out for us. But like I said, I just wanna see it, use it. Any questions from anybody?
All right, item number 4.
You need a motion on that?
This one is the motion, the other one was just opening the
Oh,
bids.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Item number 4, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding accepting bids for the golf course equipment.
Do you want to vote on all of these together?
Well, that's, the way it's on here is all together.
Give one no over here.
I mean, we can make the motion to accept the John Deere Fairway mower,
The John Deere Fairway mower,
table,
The-
the second one. I can word that if that's how you wanna do it, but if we wanna do A, B, C, D, we can do that too, whatever. We can take 4,
we can take them one at a time inside this.
Yeah.
Okay,
We can do them all at once, Kelly. We won't need to go through the whole. Does somebody have an issue with doing them all at once?
I don't.
Anybody wanna go on record? and-
Yeah, it's me, I'm sorry, Dennis, here, when this goes to whoever, to council or whatever, and they say, why did you spend $15,000 more on this greens deal? I just wanna make sure that we did our due diligence on this bid process, that they say, well, why'd you bid it if it's $15,000 more dollars? Why is it so much better that we know that as a group that we did our due diligence to say, well, this is why we went ahead with it, although it was that much better.
Correct.
So,
I will explain it to council.
okay, so long, I mean, I think. as
and we
long-
can separate them out on the council agenda too. I can set it up differently for that agenda.
And to help out, like, I quoted the exact same thing that you guys have currently. He's well aware of why he does not want that one.
To a layperson that's just looking at counting numbers and looking, they're gonna go, you spent more money on this than you could have saved money on this, and we won't save money. I just,
The
that's
other
just
one
how.
will save
a
us
lay-
money in the long run.
Right.
Right. It's not gonna save us money because it's gonna cost us more labor.
Dennis, I'll tell you what though, I don't know if I would go down that path.
Set
Because-
down on that, they
Yeah,
just
this-
bite you.
Yeah, this is to maintain the integrity of these processes, we've got to have these bid specs. That's what we've gotta evaluate them on. And when you get up there and say, yeah, they met the specs,
But
Both
John
of
Deere
them-
didn't meet the specs, but that's all
what's
right.
that?
He didn't meet the specs, they didn't have a core solutions or a similar product.
Okay, well, as long as it didn't meet the specs, that's fair.
Right.
But if they both met the specs and we say, yeah, but this one's, I don't think that one,
Right.
Won't fly very well.
That was,
There are
that's
two
why.
items. One item is that, all of them were not able to meet the same spec. And the other item is that it's in the city's best interest to purchase an item, that's recommended.
and I would say, if it's in the city's best interest, we ought to be putting those things in the specs. So, to come on afterwards and say, well, here's 2 items, one's $15,000 more than the other, but they both meet the specs, and then we stand up and go, but this is in the city's best interest. How come? Somebody would ask the question, why? And say, why didn't you put that in your specs?
So you also could say that it's easy to evaluate that after the fact. But when you're asking for prices and you're asking for a particular piece of equipment, and then you get the spread of numbers like that, you get that after the fact.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, if we start down that path, what happens on bids is that, and not these gentlemen, but other people that are in this business will throw in a few things, get a few freebies. So you come into a bid and somebody says, here's my bid, it meets specs, and the other one says, mine does too, but I'm gonna throw in some freebie stuff. And then people go, oh, okay, well, that's got the bid plus the freebies. And if it's what you need, it's what you need. If it's not what you need,
So then we depend on the expertise
Yeah.
To be able to understand what we're actually bidding, what we're actually buying.
Yeah. And this is our, we're working our interest, but we've got 3 companies here that have spent their time and energy and effort to bring those forward. And this allows us to get the best pricing on this stuff. This is competition. And we want them to come back the next time and feel like we've got a process, that it's not, oh, well, I see the specs, but there's also some other criteria I didn't know about. So it behooves us to get as much of that criteria as we can in those specs, so when they go do the work, they'll come back next time and say, you know what, I may not be the low bidder, but at least I got a fair shot at it. And it wasn't, it was pretty obvious in how they went through the process. So I hope that's what they get when they leave tonight is, they saw how we went through this process, and they'll come back the next time when we have equipment.
So also, I want to compliment the board in the way that you have engaged with these vendors. I think that's very professional.
Okay, we had a motion, so.
Nobody has made a motion yet.
The motion, we have a motion, but we want to do these one at a time. Can we do that, Mayor, within this motion?
Yes, you can separate them, and it would be appropriate to do that because you're tabling one of these items. When it goes to council, and you ask council, if you ask council to approve a lump sum for all of the equipment, and then ask them to also table, I think it would be more appropriate if you handle these one at a time.
Okay.
Send the council one at a time.
Okay, so,
Can I ask one more question then? Do you think this will be on the council agenda as a, what do you call it, the blanket
On the consent agenda.
consent?
Yes,
Or will this be a discussion item?
yes, it will be on the consent agenda.
Okay, so council most likely will not discuss it unless somebody brings it up.
Right. If somebody wants to pull it off, they can.
They pull it off of that consent agenda, yes, it will be discussed.
So all the discussion's gonna be had here. Just so we all know.
No, there'll be discussion, there'll probably gonna be discussion at council.
They usually do.
Oh, on consent agendas? Okay.
They can pull off anything for
Okay.
discussion if they want.
They usually do.
okay, I'll ask for a vote on the fairway mower, the John Deere fairway mower.
But you'll need a motion and
Need
a
a
second.
motion first, right?
Pardon?
You'll need a motion and a second.
Need a motion and a second for each one of these?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I need a motion to do the John Deere
Motion to vote on the fairway mower.
fairway mower.
Fairway mower.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion. Call for the vote.
Marks?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
King?
Yes on the John Deere.
John Deere.
Seaver?
Yes.
Graves?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kenny Geezer. Sorry.
What was the second one we were going to
The
do?
second one is the one we tabled.
The
That
fairway aerator, is that the one we're tabling?
Deep tine
Or
aerator.
the greens aerator?
Fairway.
The fairway one.
Okay, the fairway aerator, okay.
Ask for a motion.
Table.
I'd entertain a motion to, which greens aerator?
Table the fairway.
Huh?
Table, I make the motion to table the deep tine aerator, also known as the fairway
I
aerator.
second it.
Okay,
Got that one done.
okay. Now we'll call the motion on that, or call the vote on that.
Okay. Richard?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Seaver?
Yes.
Graves?
Yes.
Kenny Geezer?
Yes.
Marks?
Yes.
Okay, the greens aerator.
Motion to vote on the greens aerator.
Will we accept the motion on the Toro, be sure and throw that in there.
Toro.
Make a motion that we
The
accept.
Toro Greens aerator.
Yeah.
I'd entertain a motion.
King
Yes, ma'am.
made the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion. Call for the vote, or the,
King,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Graves,
Yes,
Cannageeser,
yes,
Marks,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
the, entertain a motion for John Deere for the golf, or for the lift.
I make a motion that we accept the John Deere bid of $6,087 for the equipment lift.
second it.
Motion been made and seconded. Discussion. Call for the vote.
Seaver,
Yes.
Graves,
Yes,
Cannageeser,
Yes.
Marks,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
King.
Yes.
All right. Good.
Guys, I appreciate all your help.
Yes, thank you.
yes, very much.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cole, and Ryan, and Russ.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Elbows,
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll be getting with you here shortly. We'll figure something out.
Item number 5, discuss and possibly approve the minutes of the October 26, 2020 regular meeting.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion been made, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Item number 6, Frank, Mr. Powell, park report.
You don't need a new mower, do you?
Probably does.
But what,
Easy, stay calm.
what would you have paid to be moved up on the agenda then?
Well, I thought I did.
Why
Yeah,
didn't we do that?
Sorry about that, Frank.
I guess I missed the last meeting. I was off. I had to have surgery, but anyway,
Had surgery?
yeah,
You okay?
yeah.
Okay.
I tore the tricep tendons. So anyway,
Too many lifts?
Well, at least you don't have the brace on anymore.
no, they let me take it off last week. So
Oh, good.
I'm about halfway through the physical therapy.
So you can pick up the grandbaby now?
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, we been actually pretty busy doing this that time of year, doing a lot of mowing, mulching the leaves up. And we got ready. We put out the Christmas lights today, and that was fun. So I had 2 or 3 newbies. So when I drove by coming here, about half of them working. So I'm not sure.
I saw some of the lights were on.
Yeah, that first time though, always between the, either a few years ago she started wrapping them with saran wrap to help protect when we haul them. But at the same time, when you go to take that stuff off and they hang on the bulbs, I'm not sure which way is actually better. But and then time you drive the stakes in and the vibrating and stuff. But right there at the ends when I had to break off for physical therapy. So I'm not sure if they even got all of them actually wired up, so that might be why some of them's not working. But main thing, they're all up. But that busy doing some light issues in the park with some floodlights, street lights. MUB's supposed to come and help change some of those out. I've been going through a thing trying to upgrade a lot of our locks in the park. So we're going to be spending some money. There's a lot of locks, in the park. But a lot of them are the same. Because a lot of them, MUB has to have their lock to be able to get in if it's certain things. But what we run into is some of them are so old, and like mine, there's no telling how old that same MUB lock's been on the pull. So the key's worn. So if I go get new keys made, a lot of times them new keys won't work. So I've done talked to MUB and we've got everything straightened out. But yes, doing that. Got the playground equipment in. I guess it came in about the time I had the surgery.
That was the toy for Bobby?
For Bobby
Buck?
Buck,
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
great.
And so we're just, once we get past this week, the lights are up. Now I'm just gonna kind of watch the weather, and if I can get about a 2-week spell, make sure it's dry, then we'll probably go ahead and try to, because I want to, but once we start it, I want to be able to, get it finished. But there's a lot to it. I mean, a lot of it's just big bulky plastic pieces. But yeah, it was we had to leave, I always have it delivered at Shoto Line because they got forklifts. And then we had all our trucks haul at the street, and plus we had to leave 4 pallets at Shoto Line till the next day when we got it. So our shop's pretty full. But, anyway, other than that, like I said, shaping up to be a busy winter. Got a lot of tree trimming to do. Being out in the park, putting up the lights, see a lot of tables and benches that need rebuilt. So it's gonna be a busy winter. I don't have any numbers today. So we're doing the lights on the cemetery, but I know they goes in spurts. They got 2 funerals tomorrow, but they were able to get a lot of tree trimming done out there. So they've been staying busy. Of course, they help us do the lights. But other than that, that's probably.
How's the duck issue? Do we have that under control?
They're everywhere, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we contact that wildlife person or something, or?
I have every year. They always tell me the same. I mean,
As long as we feed them, they're gonna keep coming.
yeah, in wintertime,
Don't
they
feed
can
'em.
fly, so they don't really come and trap them. And then they said, until we take away the food source, and that was mainly with the geese. The geese haven't flown in yet, so it could even get worse because usually by now they start flying in. But the last few years, I think they did find another pond. They haven't been as bad as they used to be. That's on the geese, but the ducks, yeah, they're.
So did they say we could move those muscovials away?
No, they won't. Like, a lot of times in the summer, the state will come in and say trap them and haul them off. But in the summer, they'll do that molting where they can't fly. So in the winter, they can fly. And so now this was on the geese, Canadian geese. Usually in the winter, they come in hundreds of those.
Right.
And so they said there's nothing to do until we take away the food source. People feeding them corn and bread. And I've that's came up more, I've been here, 20 years? That's came up more than once. And I say the city, the different councils, and even the police have told me they're not gonna, make a fine for ticketing.
People feeding.
Yeah, and so until then, you have to, I don't know. If I knew, we wouldn't have them. So I've tried different things. I have, they do make, they don't like mint, so there's a spray you can put out on the ground, deter them from eating the grass, and it don't harm them, but like I said, as long as you still got people coming and feeding them, they didn't fly away.
They're from there to Jefferson, they're everywhere in the morning. I mean,
Yeah, they're starting to spread out far.
Yeah,
That's why I keep saying it won't be long for the route.
There's been a whole set of babies on
Yeah.
Kauai over there between there and Jefferson, just
Yeah.
right in there. There's like, she had them all over there in the little, under a car.
They're starting to cross, Elliott Street, and I've seen them inching their way down, so it won't be long, they'll be out here on the court.
Yeah.
I thought those muscovials aren't a migratory bird, right? So they're not federally protected.
Now, as far as I know, none of them, except for the Canadian geese.
Right, yeah, they are.
There's so many different, they all, I think, intermingle and mix, and
Can I speak to that, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, please.
Get Frank off the hook there, maybe. We contract with the state. We contract the state with removal of beaver and what else? And pigeons, all right? So we have not contracted with the state to remove the ducks. But I can guarantee you that that's gonna happen this next year. I can
Good.
guarantee you that will happen. So in order for the state to do something about that, you have to contract with them. And they only do that one time a year. They don't do it just when you call them. They'll do it, they'll take care of the beaver when you call them, they'll take care of the pigeons when you call them. Ducks are not that way. They'll do that one time a year. So I can guarantee you that if we can weather the storm for another few months,
Do them in the spring? Is that when you do it?
it'll be in the spring sometime, yes.
Mm-hmm.
when I have done said one of the biggest things they do, they said a lot of times they're big on golf courses, is, a dog. They train the dog to chase them, but not catch them. But the thing with the dog, I mean, somebody's gotta take, and I don't want any more dogs, so I don't, you know,
Well, that's
that
what,
was always an issue,
So
who
we
would
have-
watch the dog?
we had to do at GRDA was buy border collies to chase them off the dams, because
And my other issue was that at the public park, if people see dogs running around chasing them, then they're gonna think, you know, because there is the leash law and stuff for, you know, so then they might think it's okay, you know. But anyway, so yeah, like the mayor said, hopefully we can get the state to do something. And then, other than that,
That's it?
looking to be busy.
Okay, stick around.
The draining issues at the cemetery, that's better,
Yeah,
or that's good, that's
Yeah,
taken care of?
everything's
Okay,
good.
cool. Great, thank you.
Item number 7, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding seeking bids for new restrooms at Whitaker Park.
Okay, I think they put the small version in your packet. I've got the big prints if somebody wanted to look at them, but if you got any questions, I mean, the engineer and I went over, you know, kind of what design and what we want in them. So if you got any questions,
Didn't I see somewhere or hear you say that you were gonna try to do it like the one over at Centennial?
okay, I don't think it's in that small design. Okay, this one will be a little bit different, kind of nicer where it looks like Centennials, just in the hip roofs and the block. It'll have 2 columns out front, so kind of like a porch or overhang in the front. Other than that, you know, it's got the same dimensions, you know. Other than that, it's the same. Kinda, a lot of it's going off of one, off of Broken Arrow.
I didn't get it in the packets.
The picture, no, it wasn't in that small packet, that's
Okay,
what,
sorry,
yeah.
missed it.
But I mean, other than that, it's look at Centennials and look like it, except there'll be, said 2 columns out front and a little
Okay.
hip roof. Like I said, it's the standard, main thing's ADA, you know, it's meeting ADA. We are looking at some more amenities, not, you know, maybe self-locking doors on timers and stuff like that, because I can control. More of some of the censored things. They said modern stuff now is not expensive like it used to be when it first came out. That stuff don't hardly cost anything. There's a few things, I don't know if it was in that small packet, but the big one, there's a few things on there that we were, that were not on a bid. You know, they had on their hand dryers, I think a mirror. Yeah, no, that stuff will be broke first night, you know. And then if we do bid and some of these amenities cause it to be a little higher than what we want, then he said, then we can come back and actually take some of those out. But other than that, it's same deal. You'll have one restroom and or urinal on the men's, 2 in the women's. I mean, same design, everything. But yeah, not these. I don't know if y'all been in these lately. They're just God, they're getting bad. it's bad. It's just everything's just rusted and corroded.
I'd entertain a motion to recommend council seek bids for a new restroom at Whitaker Park.
I'll make the motion.
Motion's been made
I'll second it.
and seconded. Discussion?
Frank, do we know how much kind of we're thinking about? What are we asking for?
I budgeted in the capped out there. I asked for 125. With talking with the engineer and stuff, we do think it's gonna be a little bit over that. But I'm not sure how much. There was, a lot of the ones, what we're going off of was one in Broken Arrow. It was part of a huge package, not just a restroom. It came in, you know, like a couple of $100,000, but they had to do a bunch of stuff when all our sewer and electric's already there. So we're just hoping for the best. But, he's already got a list, ain't the contractors. Of course, it'll be open to, you know, but there's already a list of certain ones to bid. And course, it's
Any other discussion?
in the packet that they have to deal with the electrical part that's behind, you know, the restrooms we got, all that's included.
Hearing none, call for the vote.
Graves,
Yes,
Kenny Geeser,
Yes.
Marks,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes,
King,
Yes.
Seaver.
Yes.
Item number 8, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding a monument for Whitaker Park in the honor and memory of Leo Perry. What was he, a 40-some-year employee or
45.
45-year employee?
So I went to WIT and we looked at a couple different monuments because we didn't want it to look like an actual headstone. And anyway, I've been dealing with his daughter, Linda, and so the bench that's in there is what she would like to see. And so this would be like the seat. They just got this to me at quitting time today. And it would actually have a different lawnmower on it. I gave them a picture of our lawnmower that we use, and they got to draw it. But it's just, so it'd have the lawnmower on it, and then just simple, you know, in memory of Leo Perry for 45 years of dedicated service. And that's how she wanted it, just real simple. And so with the monument and everything on it ready to go, it's $850. And but anyway, I fear he's deserving of it. Probably never have another employee like him. Yeah.
just curious, when did he actually retire?
Oh, about the exact 12 days before he passed.
I was gonna say, yeah, I thought,
He-
wow.
He came to me 2 or 3 months ago and finally said this was gonna be his last year. He was gonna finish out the season, which would have been probably today, this week, because he'd always give it one final mulching before this week when we put the lights out. And then he came to me, said on a Sunday, done his weekend run, said 12 days before he passed, he said, I can't, said he couldn't do it no more. So yeah, that was
Frank, do you know about when he started working for the city? What year?
75.
75, so just for y'all to know, I'm pretty sure 1985 when he left the golf course, so from 75 to 85, he worked out at the golf course as a foreman.
It's kind of funny. I've asked him up here for like, and he's been here so long and old, they can't find everything different, right? Because he actually, like he said, he worked for a while and he has maybe quit or small break and then come back. But yeah, 45 years total. But that's how he wanted. That's all I ever heard was, you know, he didn't want to be one of those quit and stayed at home. You can find him. So he worked right up to the end. That's how he wanted it.
Frank, where will you put that? And my bigger concern is can we make it where some knucklehead can't tear it up? I'd hate for his daughter to see that and get destroyed or, you know.
One reason they pointed that bench instead of the other style is they said the other ones are thin. In fact, I had kids destroy one on this, the other bench that's pretty. And he said this one is real thick and it can be pinned. And it's not like the others that had the seat in the back where they're thin. So that's why we went with that bench. On location, I've dealt with her, and basically she didn't have a certain area, just in Whitaker Park. And there was one certain area she did pick, but it's where one of the other benches was broke, and so we're gonna look at getting it repaired and put back. And so other than that, she said anywhere would be fine. So I was kind of gonna maybe, you know, if y'all had a particular idea, because this morning, also I had another guy come to me this morning wanting to buy a tree and a plaque for his wife. And so, which is fine, because then we could use some trees. So he's wanting to do, just the flush mount and put it at the base of the tree. I think I'm already gonna try to put that one there just, east of the basketball court. And then that one kinda threw me off, cause that's kinda where I was probably gonna lean towards Leo's. And so I still trying to decide if I'm gonna even buy a cruise Leo. And then, do the same thing, put the, thing is, if you put a bench underneath the tree, eventually, what happens on that, but anyway, so there's not a set spot yet. It's a lot of it was going up to the daughter.
I'd entertain a motion to recommend council action on the monument, in honor of Leo.
I'll certainly make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
Golf course report.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank y'all for all your help and understanding on those bids. It's good to get through all that. Right now, it's an exciting time for the golf course. Golf business is really good. We got a lot of good things happening, getting equipment and, a lot of good feedback from the golfers. So it's just a lot of fun when you have a lot of good stuff going. So we're really enjoying it. Just finished going to the OTRF conference. It was done virtual online, so it's all Zoom meetings now, which is pretty neat. It's a different way of doing things, but it does have some advantages. So I have to do that for my CEUs, for my spraying license. Also, once a year, just so y'all know, I have to buy the city a license so that I can actually have a spraying license. So the city gets their license once a year. Mine renews every 5 years, as long as I have my CEUs. So just a little information on that. Also did a PGA meeting, talked to some of my other PGA guys about what they do on their business plans to try to help make our business plan a lot better. One of the things that come out of one of the conversations is kind of a neat thing is what they found is that the golf course is the #1 reason for people to come from out of town to visit a city recreational wise. It's the #1 reason. There's no, people aren't coming from Claremore to Walmart in Pryor. They're not coming probably to our park system as much, because they have park systems. Not coming to our swimming pools, because they have a swimming pool, but they will come to our golf course. It's the #1 reason that people will come to out of town, and we get a lot of out of town people, Broken Arrow everywhere, so it's kind of a neat deal when you kind of look at the golf course in that manner, that we're the biggest draw for out of town people. Things are going really good. I think as of today, we're about 71,000 ahead of last year's revenue. So if we have a good spring, COVID don't shut us down, none of that crazy stuff, we're going to have a great year. I just really see a lot of good things for spring. So along with that, we're marketing our silver memberships. We've had 2 of those convert to full memberships already, so that leaves us 1,004 that we're really going to work hard on marketing, seeing how many of those we can convert. That's kind of it for my report. Try and keep it short because we got a lot of other things to go over. Anybody have any questions?
But so far though, we've converted just 2.
Right.
Just 2.
And their membership would have ran still all the way through March, but they gave that up in order to go ahead and become a platinum member.
Yeah.
And so,
Dennis, and we can talk about this probably more, well, I think we'd all better, is, do you have statistics on number of rounds played and who played them? Whether it was a membership or a silver membership or, whatever. Do we have counts on that?
I do have counts on paid rounds and membership rounds to to break out the individual membership rounds, might be able to do that.
No, I'm not looking at an end of,
I mean, what the different types of memberships,
well,
right?
and I don't wanna get too far in the weeds on this, cause I
Right.
think we'll discuss it later, but it is, do we know how many rounds the silver members played?
I think I can generate that report.
Okay,
And for what period of time? You talking about for a year, or per month, or?
yeah, and here's what I think might be relevant, we'll find out. Is there, do you think they are the highest user of the carts?
Over paid rounds, or highest user of cards over members?
Paid rounds,
Over paid rounds?
paid cart rentals.
Are they the highest user of paid cart rentals versus other members, or versus daily fees, green fees?
Well, what would be interesting, I think, is relevant is if we took our cart rentals, $130-some thousand, and we said silver members rented 50,000, 75,000, greens fees represented, people paying green fees rented this amount of it, and members, this amount.
Right.
Because I think our members are stickier, and our greens fee paying people are gonna be stickier, gonna come back around. I think we should identify it as a potential risk. If we don't convert these silver members, we may see a significant drop-off in cart rentals.
Right.
And so can we get in front of that and say, okay, if we don't convert these silver members, then how much should we anticipate the cart rentals declining year to year? And that's what I see the risk being, hitting the revenue side of it.
Right. I understand, I can pull up how many, probably the silver memberships, how many times they've played. I'm not sure, I can't probably break it out how many times they used a golf cart. Some walk, some ride. We could
Yeah.
probably use a percentage, and we're safe with this amount, this percentage number.
Do you have a general sense of how many of those people rent carts?
Yeah, we're probably right around, real close to 90%.
Of the silver members?
Rent carts, yeah. There's not that many walkers. So they either rent a cart or they walk. I mean, we don't have that many walkers.
So with that high of a utilization rate, if they don't convert, they're not gonna be there to rent carts, unless they pay for the green fee.
Yeah, and then, unless they just come and play for a green.
Well,
That's the whole deal. They're either gonna.
Not necessarily, they may still play, they just don't they just don't become a platinum member. They may still
Yeah.
come out and
Right.
play and rent
Yeah.
a cart. So you can't just make that distinction that if they don't convert, we're gonna lose all that money on the cart.
No,
Can't
but
do that.
But I'm thinking our cart rentals are our #1 revenue generator, right?
Right.
And that's a risk, when you think it is a risk that if these people aren't renting carts, our revenue's gonna drop more.
But, right. And if you have 1,006 members, 1,004 now, silver members, if we convert, 5% of them, that number will outweigh any cart loss, because our average, for every member, we average, because there's so many different kinds of members, for every membership sold, we average like $678. Now, some of that could be corporate membership sold at 35, could be a junior sold at 140. But we average $678 every time we sell a membership. So if we convert 50 of those, I think that was $40,000 roughly, if we convert 50 members. If we don't, and that number goes down, and because we lost all the silvers, some of them's gonna play, pay a green fee, but then some of them may not come and play.
I didn't
I
want to get
understand
too
what you're
fast.
thinking, and,
Yeah, we're getting ready to talk about a 5-year plan, and we're making some
Right.
projections, and so.
right, exactly. Any other questions? It's time.
Item number 10. Discuss possibly recommend council action regarding the declaring the John Deere 310C 4x4 ARI 735E backhoe at the golf course, serial number 29923, estimated at a value of $4,500 surplus, and selling it for the highest and best sealed bid. It only runs backwards.
Y'all need a motion or go ahead and discussion or? Anyway, the reason why I put that on there is, yeah, we've always kind of get the hand-me-downs out there, and it's an older backhoe. It's done great for us, but the transmission went out, and it's a four-wheel drive backhoe, so the transmission's pretty expensive to get it repaired. So after talking around, there's some other departments that have one that they'll probably surplus, so if we can get rid of ours, we might be able to acquire theirs and transfer that money over to them. So I wanna get rid of ours and being able to acquire a better backhoe from the city. Different department, so we need to surplus this one.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded. Discussion?
Does this work at all?
It runs backwards. Everything works. It's
I
just a
thought you
matter
were
of
joking.
I'm not joking. Probably $4,000 to fix the transmission. And instead of spending that, I can just surplus it and get another one from another department.
You're sure you can get a hand-me-down, though?
Pretty sure. Maybe the mayor can answer that better.
So our departments have a tendency to work pretty efficiently together, and that's a good thing. Our street department has a backhoe that is older. They want to get it out of their system, out of their fleet, and we can transfer that over to the golf course, and it would be workable, and it does drive forwards and backwards.
I'm gonna ask, does it drive forward?
And it's serviceable. It has had some repairs done on it through time, but they would like to transfer that over to the golf course. And if the golf course wants to receive it, then I think it's a good move. We can surplus from the golf course. We can come out money ahead that way.
You know, this similar to the question I asked earlier, are we approaching a time now that with the golf course is no longer, well, I don't know, what enterprise fund used to be, assets couldn't move between enterprise funds or from the city to, are we to a point now where we're, have money coming into the golf course from the city? Can we look at sharing equipment? Does it make sense that we have things like backhoes? I'm assuming we don't use those every day.
No, but and we've always.
A backhoe for a golf course is a needed piece of equipment.
We've
Well,
always, yeah.
I don't argue that, but I'm just saying, can we have a pool of equipment where when we need something, we can go to the pool and get it out of the pool?
A motor pool.
Yeah.
Because we operate from different sales tax supported funds, then there becomes some a conflict there. What I've tried to encourage the dentist to do is perhaps sell his services over to some of the other departments to generate revenue from the other departments. But I think that over time, I think we operate pretty efficiently with the use of our equipment. And to be able to have a pool, if we had an equipment pool and we just go get out of the pool when a particular department needs it, try to figure out how often we might need it. we get into a conflict there because one department needs it, and another department also needs it, and another department also needs it. So if we have three departments, for instance, working on, trying to use one or two backhoes at a time, and when we have the need.
I understand that. I think that a way though that we can look at the numbers, do it by the numbers is, what's the utilization rate by each department? I mean, don't wanna get in details, but just,
Oh, come
How do
on,
we-
Chris, you always get in details,
well,
and that's one of the reasons that makes us sharp at what we do, so fire
This-
away, man.
we're looking at, in this 5-year plan, a significant amount of money. And we just spent $100,000 tonight, we've committed. And so is there a way that we can look at some of these large capital investments? When we're using the aerator, I think we said 8 hours a day, 6 times a year. We're using it 48 hours, and the last I checked, that's about a week's worth of. But we're paying a pretty good chunk of money, and is it possible that we?
If we don't use it, it costs us a whole lot of money.
But we're saying that you don't have to buy. I'm just asking a question. Is it cost effective to say, hey, can we go rent that, or can we hire that as a service, somebody to do it? And I think some of the issues where everybody wants to do it at the same time. I've lived this life, and I can tell you, I'll just tell you where I'm coming from. One of the challenges of hierarchical organizations, everybody's optimizing at their level of authority and below, and says we can't share with anybody else. It's very common, and it drives your cost up. And the way you break that down is you start looking at how do we start sharing across departments rather than saying everybody's got to be self-sufficient. That's where I'm coming from. In the city, I just think that might be, and I'm just asking the question. But for 48 hours, I mean, that's just an example. I'm not using that to pick on it, but that doesn't seem like a high utilization rate for a high-end piece of equipment.
So from the perspective of surplusing the tractor that only drives backwards, so that's the motion on the
Yeah.
floor. That's the motion on the floor. So I think we should probably talk about that and discover how that might work. But this piece of equipment needs to be surplus, and that's the motion on the floor.
Thank you.
So we had was it seconded?
Yes.
Motion been made and seconded. Any more discussion? Call for the vote?
Kenny Geeser?
Yes.
I'm a place here. Sorry. Marks?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Seaver?
Yes.
Graves?
Yes.
Item number 12, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding a 10% increase in membership fees, Pryor Creek Golf Course.
So we had the golf course set, no, go ahead.
We missed 11. We come
We
back.
did 11 before you got here.
Yeah.
Oh,
You missed 11.
should have stayed at work. I'm sorry.
So
It's all right.
we had the golf course subcommittee get together, and go over some of these items, and, I don't know, do y'all have the fee structure? Yeah, so everybody has that right there. And, throughout the year, this year, we've, raised our green fee prices. We've raised our cart fee prices, and now we're at the end of the year, and, by doing all the planning and stuff we need to do, I think it's appropriate to raise our membership prices, and that's what I think the subcommittee, Walt, was unanimous about.
And it's probably been what, maybe 4 years since we did it?
Yeah,
4?
3 to 4 years, and
Yeah.
we're just talking about the membership prices, we're not talking about the bottom two things, the cart stall or the trail on cart.
No.
Just the membership prices. And so we come to the conclusion, 10% is appropriate. If we start going 15%, I think, we could even be higher than our competition, and we don't wanna get higher than our competition. We wanna have our fees is where they need to be, where they're appropriate, but we don't want them too low, we don't want them too high either. So that's, the conclusion we come up with, at the Park Board Subcommittee meeting.
I'd entertain a motion to recommend council action regarding a 10% increase in membership fees at the golf course.
I make that motion.
Motion's been made
I'll second.
and seconded. Discussion?
Dennis, this is dumb, but it's only on new memberships, right? So once I'm locked in for my year,
Correct, yeah.
I'm good until I renew my next year.
Right, this is only anybody that purchases from council, date forward, council will meet, I think it's the third? First, so it'd be the second. This would go in effect on, December 2nd, would be my recommendation. And then anything from December 2nd forward, somebody come in, to buy a membership or renew a membership, these would be the new rates. Not this would be the new rates, but plus 10% of these numbers.
Discussion?
I'm just thinking that if someone already has a membership, I think we need to really work very hard and let them know that, because let's say they may not renew until February.
Or May,
March,
right.
yeah,
Most of them
whatever.
come due May.
They need to know,
Right.
I think, ahead of
The
time.
new rates, right.
That the rates are gonna go up, and if you want it
Right.
beforehand, then you need to act before such and such a date. Because I think a lot of people will be very disgruntled if they don't have that opportunity to renew before the rate's gonna go up.
So
Well,
contact them,
Somehow, I do believe,
Somehow, and
I do believe we should
say,
contact.
hey, if you wanna
And
buy
let,
it,
and let, and, you know, unless we even wanna
pre-buy
wait.
it, is he talking about pre-buy, purchasing early?
Yeah, I mean, and that can be their option. They may say, no, I'll just wait till April and just so they know, by the time you renew, the membership's gonna be going up 10%.
yeah, well, as soon as we get approval from the council, we can put out a memo like that. We can't forward him.
No, but give people enough time. We might not even wanna start this until the 1st of January, to give people time to
And
get something.
I assume that the fees will go up on the 3rd of December, the day after the council votes.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna be enough time to let people know that, by the way, rates are gonna go up, and if you wanna act on it before your membership is gonna come, be renewed, then you need to act. But I think doing it the very next day after council is way too premature, my opinion. I think we need to wait. If not till right after Christmas, wait till the 1st of the year. Give people time.
So you have a month to get a 10% discount on next year's.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just think people
Well,
would wanna know that.
Remember, Pat, look down here at number 13. We've already talked about that a little bit, remember?
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay,
know
so
that we.
that would give everybody the option. Well, that would be under the new fee, but it would be for
That'd be a better
a longer period of time.
Yeah, that's what,
That's
the
a
reason
different
why
thing.
I thought after our meeting, was more.
I mean, the idea
wanted to
is,
Get this changed,
we need more money.
we wanted to change this quicker so that we could do the special
Yeah,
new rate. But
Right.
What you're saying, we just do the special at this rate, the old rate.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm saying that, but I am saying I think people who have been members need to have a little bit of time to know that the rates are gonna go up. I just think that that's fair, and for me, that's the right way to do this.
I'm fine with that.
When do the memberships, it used to be in
Most of them.
March or May or,
Yeah, we have a bunch of them that come due sporadically throughout the year, but the majority of the people, all the cart stall people come due May 1st. So if you have your cart in the stall, that cart stall fee and your membership come due May 1st.
and it's gonna be at the new rate.
Yeah.
So if I'm not trying to understand what Pat's talking about, if you buy it early, that means since you buy these usually on an annual basis, what are we talking about? Wouldn't you be giving up, if you're gonna make it effective now, you're giving up months that you haven't
No, I
used?
think what Pat is saying, if you say, like Bill's a member, if Bill will say, okay, I'm gonna buy my membership in December because I can save 10%. So I know it's gonna be 10% higher in May. So I'll just buy it early.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna let him pre-buy it?
He's gonna,
a few
yeah.
months.
Yeah,
He would pre-buy it, save 10%.
His membership's gonna stay until May, and then
Yeah,
that one will kick in
membership.
May.
His anniversary date will always be May 1st, but he's gonna buy it, give the golf course money in December so he can save 10%.
But was there not a problem when we did the special, that people, they couldn't buy memberships unless their memberships were due? Because they're like, I want to be a part of this deal, but they
Oh.
couldn't
That
do
was a
it.
silver, I think.
That was
Right.
silver. Silvers just couldn't convert over to, I mean, a platinum just couldn't buy a silver.
So the lucky people that their membership came due during that 3-month period got a real bargain.
Yes.
Well, they had to let their membership expire.
Right.
Then they could buy the silver. That was kind of the way that deal worked.
So this to me is kind of like that, but maybe not.
Pat's just saying, hey, if you wanna renew your membership, you can renew it early and save 10%.
I don't think that's not what you're saying. You're just saying, hey, give them a heads up
All right, just,
before they come in and realize that it went up 10%.
I mean, I don't
Both
know.
ways, I think she.
then your annual date changes.
Hmm?
Then your annual date would change.
Well, I wouldn't change anybody's annual date. I wouldn't.
Yeah, well,
It's May 1st, it needs to stay May 1st.
and maybe it's only
Just
gonna be
whether-
for, maybe it's only gonna be for people that, their membership comes due before the April timeframe. Because I don't know that it would be cost effective for, say, Bill, if his doesn't come due until May 1st or whatever, you know, I don't know how much he would save. Are you saying, for example, if Bill did that, and he did it, say, the middle of December, but it normally wouldn't come due until, say, May 1st?
Bills comes due May 1st.
May 1st. But if he does it earlier to save some money, say in December, that's gonna be his new date, it's gonna be
No.
December?
No.
No.
It's
No.
not. So
It
I-
always
It's
stays
just saying
May
he's
1st.
already paid for the one that comes May 1st, it's
Right,
already
he's
paid
already
for.
paid.
Paying early.
Right, so I don't know that he wouldn't save anything, I don't think,
He's just paying early,
yeah.
It's a
Well, I guess-
10%.
Right, saving 10%.
saving 10%,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
It's gonna be 10% higher in May if y'all choose for it to go up 10%.
Yeah.
Just when do you want the 10% to go up? And it's to allow people to say, hey, I wanna buy it in
Early.
December, save myself 10%, which is about $1 a week roughly on most memberships.
So I mean, I think perhaps if we can we wait till, sometime in January? To give people, time if they want to renew it early, or if they don't want to renew it. But give them some time.
If you wanna do it in January, I'd say like January 1st, start it at the beginning of the month, it's easier for us, not in the middle of the month, too much, so.
But
Whatever
that
y'all
would
wanna
be
do on
giving-
that.
I mean, that goes back to that
It's y'all's decision. I'm good
13
either
though.
way.
How does that affect?
You gotta weigh it against that number 13 you're looking at.
Right. Number 13, item number 13 is what I was wanting to do, depending, it doesn't matter what I guess you do on the rates, but I'm wanting to run a special for people to buy, a Christmas special, something like that, holiday special. Buy your membership now and get 15 months instead of just 12. So
I
basically.
hate to do that at the older price though, I'd wanna do that at the newer price.
That's what I was gonna do at the new price, but that basically gives somebody January, February, and March for free. It's an incentive to buy a membership in December as a Christmas present or something. Well, January and February are kind of washout months anyway, so basically they're gonna get, maybe if March is a good month, they get an extra month to play, but we got the money early. As people use, because people's gonna use Christmas money for something, whether they buy them a set of clubs or they buy a membership, or
It
something
seems-
else.
If I understand it though, it seems like we run the risk of hacking off some of the members, because they would say, you're saying if I'm a new member, if I don't have a membership, you're targeting people that don't have a membership now, right?
Right, new members, sure.
So if you say new members only, this applies to,
Well, or the silver members, we were thinking about the
Yeah,
silver
silver.
members, getting them to
If
convert
the
it
silver
early.
would convert, then that
And
would be
they would
giving
have
them-
Okay,
those 3
so-
months.
new members or silver members then, you've included them? Because this doesn't make sense to give, I mean, the regular members, you're trying to make more money,
Right.
and you're giving them 15 months for typical 12 months worth of fees. We're working against ourselves there if I'm,
To me, it's just for new members, and a lot of other golf courses that do, have done something similar to this same program. If, hey, if you're, sign up now, if you're a new member, we're gonna throw you an extra couple months. Just one time only offer for a new member. So that was number 13, I know we're supposed to be on number 12.
And then,
How many do you think
we'll,
would sign
we'll
up?
get down to 13, but that was also to help us
Okay,
see if we
50
can
signed up.
So we're gonna.
convert
Now,
these
these silvers,
silver members
we
early.
got 1,006 silvers, I'm over
Okay.
50 of those will convert.
So what would that cost us if we waited till January 1 on that 10%? That, giving them that 10%
Oh,
rate? If-
Now that, you know, if you're talking about how many I think we'll sell in December, I have no idea. I'm hoping we'll, by May sometime, we'll convert those silvers, 50 silvers. I don't know if we'll sell 10 memberships or 20, but
In December, on
in
this
December,
special.
right. If we sold 20, I think that would be a bunch.
Well, I like Pat's idea. I think we take it like that. That's, as we start the 10% new fee, January 1, it's just a good whole number.
Yep.
And then if these people wanna get in on this December special, then they get a heck of a deal. They save 10% and they get 3 months for free.
Right.
After January 1, the price goes up 10%.
Yep. That's, you know, even I can use that to market with.
Unless you think there's gonna be 500 people who are
Oh,
gonna sign up for
no.
this December thing and then we just cut 10% out.
I'd say somewhere, if we did good, somewhere might be 10 to 15, 20 would be really good if we sold 20 memberships.
Okay.
But if we sold 10, I'd be really happy.
and I do think you'll have to market a little bit. Because I think all of us have run into, when we've been a long-term paying customer for, let's say, cable or something like that, and they go out there and throw a teaser rate that's half price, and you go, I've been with you for 40 years, and I have to pay this amount, and these new people, and so it does,
The contract.
Yeah.
But after their first year, their honeymoon year, they're gonna lose those 3 months and then they're still paying 10%.
I'm just saying that you gotta, you know, you're gonna have people, we had people on the silver memberships that really, you know, have people up here, so it's just something you need to market right.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, I'm good with starting the 10% January 1st.
If you want to do that, we'll have to amend the motion to add the January 1st date on that, so.
Who made the motion?
Graves made the motion.
I'll amend it,
And did I second that?
whatever.
Yeah, and I'll amend,
Okay,
second the mo.
To begin January 1st.
Yeah, that's a Friday. I just happened to look, that's a Friday,
still the
Hey,
first.
Good.
January 1st, holiday.
Yeah.
More discussion? Roll call, please.
Marks,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
King,
Yes, ma'am.
Seaver,
Yes.
Graves,
Yes.
Kenny Geeser.
Yes. Item 13, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding a December special at the Pryor Creek Golf Course for a 15-month membership for the cost of a 1-year membership.
I like it. I make a motion.
A second.
Motion been made and seconded. Discussion.
Point of order, sir.
No.
Nothing behind it.
I was, no.
Point of order, do you need to, change the wording and say for a 15-month new
No,
membership?
yeah, that's what I was huffing about.
Yes.
New membership?
Yes.
Because we said for new members only. Good point. For a 15-month new membership. Okay.
New membership.
Yep.
15-month new membership for the cost of 1 year.
And you'll need to amend the motion and second.
And then that would make their annual date April 1st?
Correct.
Okay.
And this would only be through the month of December that they could purchase this.
For new,
December,
okay.
that's what it says, December.
Discuss and possibly recommend council, action regarding December special at the Pryor Creek Golf Course for a 15-month new membership for the cost of a 1-year membership.
Who made the original?
King, and he amended it.
He amended it. And then was it Melinda?
Yeah, I amended it.
Okay.
Oh, we're moving now.
Yeah.
Good job.
Look it off.
Now, that would not be at the new 10% cost, so that'd be at the old cost.
Right.
Okay, all right.
10% don't start till January 1.
Roll call, please.
Richard,
Yes?
King,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes,
Graves,
Yes,
Kennegeeser,
Yes.
Marks.
Yes.
Item number 14. Discuss possibly recommend council action regarding scheduling a Halloween hayride at the golf course on October 2021 and forming a committee to begin the planning process.
All right, I just put on the agenda, trying to figure out different ways to utilize our golf course. Come up with an idea. I think the golf course would be a neat place to have like a theme park, create a theme park, have a hay ride, bring the kids out. We could, we have all the amenities, parking, restrooms, everything to set up a really big theme park during Halloween, maybe a couple weekends, and be able to, take people on a hay ride throughout the golf course in the evening and have maybe different organizations set up different areas, different banks, churches, whatever kind of organization would want to participate and really create something big. I think it could be really a fun deal, a big deal where, we advertise it, we do we could do so many good things and make that the place to bring your kids on Halloween. I know a lot of people go to the castle in Muskogee. It's very expensive. I don't know if y'all have ever been there. My grandkids went there and it was very expensive. So, but a traditional hay ride, we have everything we need just about to set it up. And we have a nice little Halloween theme we've already talked about. So, my idea would be for me to form a committee and put this thing together, get to planning on it, and I've got council members that's already interested in being on the committee. I don't know if any of y'all would be interested, but I would like to appoint a person in charge to be the head of and ramrod this thing. I've talked to the mayor, got some good people that I think would be great to be the leader and run this thing, and I'll give them some ideas and what we see happening, and it would just be a neat thing come Halloween to bring the family out, whatever, and go through a hayride, a traditional hayride, have one area set aside, so we got plenty of room out there for the little kids. We could do, a lot of food wagons. We could do a lot of different things out there, and just make that for a couple weekends through October a fun place to go. Might generate a little bit of revenue for the golf course. So a different way of utilizing something that I think that would be really a fun thing and put Pryor on the map. Hey, this is a place to go. Let's go to the Pryor Golf Course for Halloween.
it'll be fun.
We could pull the hay wagon with a tractor that moves forward too.
Yeah, it goes forward.
It'd be kind of fun to go backwards on.
That's my idea, and I'd like to put a committee together and get going on it, and then as a committee meets, and then we'll bring ideas back to the park board for approval, and times and dates and costs and everything.
I would entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
Motion been made
Second.
and seconded. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 15, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding seeking bids for repair of the cart building and the maintenance building at the golf course. The cart building is where the private carts are, though.
Yes, the number, we call them 1, 2, and 3, or ABC,
Yeah.
the first cart building.
Yeah.
During that one real bad storm, we had the insurance people come out. They gave us $7,200 for damages. So we have that. It won't fix the whole building. The only, he said half of it was damaged, so, but we got $7,200. The maintenance building and that cart building are my two worst roofs, so, we're trying to figure out a way to fix them as least expensive as we can. They have corrugated metal on them right now, so, I've been talking to a few different roofers, Matt Dawson and stuff. They come up with some good ideas. They're inexpensive roofs. We don't wanna put a lot of money in these buildings, but we wanna get the roofs taken care of. So I just wanna go out for bids, see what we can come up with. Like I said, the insurance has already put $7,200 in our account, so.
But, okay, just for the roof, okay.
I'd entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
Motion been made, second,
I'll second.
seconded, discussion.
I'm just wondering, do you have any idea what this is just for we're talking the roofs, right?
Yes, just a maintenance building
Right.
roof and the cart.
Do you have any idea what the roof might cost on that maintenance building? Just a ballpark, anything at all?
No, because it depends on, I talked to Matt Dawson with Dawson Roofing today. He, there's a lot of different options. He went and measured, he said, I got a lot of different options. I told him we just gotta do it least expensive as we can, and, but still get the job done. And he's looking at some different metals, roofs, and some that are been surplused and all kinds of stuff, but that will still do the job. It may not be the exact color we want,
Yeah.
but he's gonna try to get the price down as low as we need, but yeah, at least get us a roof on there. So the cost, I just don't know what they're gonna be yet.
Okay, thank you.
Have a point of order, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, if this item is specifically for repairing roofs, then we need to specify that on the motion. Specify that to repair the roofs on the cart building and maintenance building at the golf course.
Oh, yeah, the roofs at the cart building, and, yes.
And maybe a couple of things on, what did insurance pay us for? Was it the roof damage, or was there other damage?
No, it was the roof damage. It was basically the roof damage on the house and that cart building. But we're demolishing the house, along that point, my wife and I, right at the edge of starting our building a new house. When ours gets complete, we'll move out, demolish that golf course house, and then we'll put the trailer out there. That's the plan. So
Yeah, all I was talking about is if we take those insurance proceeds, I believe you have to fix what they paid you for, or if you don't, if you have another problem with it, we're not gonna have be
Right.
insured. And I think the second thing is just a curious question, those private carts out there, do we have any liability if they're damaged? Is a city liable for carts that get damaged in those cart sheds? Private carts?
like if the fire burns them down, or?
Right.
Well, if the roof collapses
Right,
and,
and fell on the cart.
yeah, fell on the carts and put the
Not if on our agreement, there's a hold harmless, part of that agreement.
okay,
I
so,
haven't seen the agreement, but if there's a hold harmless clause on that, then we do not have liability.
I think the cart owners, or the cart owners, supposed to have their own insurance.
okay,
They furnish their own liability
Yeah.
insurance for their cart, but I don't know,
if they've
like
got,
you said, if the roof falls down on it, I mean,
that's probably something to be worth asking, because that's a risk.
right.
But it's also part of the reason that justifies spending the money to replace the roof.
But getting back to your question, though, that money that we received from the insurance was for that cot building and the roof for the house?
Yes.
So it wasn't for the maintenance building?
No.
So are we treading on, are we okay there, or?
Yes, we are.
Okay, sir,
We
okay.
checked on that, and, yes, we are okay with our insurance carry, on that item.
Okay,
All right, we changed that to the bids for roofs for the Clark building and the maintenance building. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye.
aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 16, presentation and discussion regarding the Pryor Creek Golf Course 5-year business plan.
Mr. Chairman, would you entertain the idea of tabling this till another meeting? So we can,
Study it.
That's what I would say, yeah, you need to take this home and study it.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can just read it real quick and say, hey.
Okay, we will,
But
I make a motion that we table number,
well, this is gonna go before the
Uh-oh.
council though.
Can I speak to that?
Yes.
don't have to.
This is not something that, the golf course is asking for an approval on.
Right.
No.
it's
It is
just
only
discussion
it's only a presentation
and
of
discussion.
a business plan. And the reason why Dennis is not asking for park board approval on the business plan is because, the business plan will be a moving target. It will be a live document that changes over time. Anytime, I don't know about you, Chris, anytime I've ever done a business plan, after a year, a couple of years, conditions change, and I change that business plan. It becomes a living thing that you change. I asked Dennis to create a business plan for the golf course because it is an enterprise fund. And I felt like that it was appropriate for it to be run like a business. So creating a business plan is appropriate to do that. Also, to share the business plan with the park board and with council, with the citizens, is also appropriate. So this is not something that Dennis is requesting approval on. It's only something that Dennis would like to present and get discussion on.
Yeah. And I,
So, and that'll give direction to it. And so, tabling is probably appropriate for today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mayor.
So tabling is appropriate, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So can I make a motion then to table number 16?
Well, there's no need to, he's just gonna explain it to us.
Okay, so don't need any motion to even table.
well, here's where I think we might get into discussion is, and I don't wanna get too much in, well, anyway, in the strategic, what's the vision for the golf course going forward? What do we anticipate it looking like? And I think that's where we weigh in as representatives of the community to say, this is what we think the community's interest is, and we have an interest in maintaining the long-term viability of the golf course.
Right, and the city's assets.
Yes, and what we think maybe are some risks or some ideas that we have about, here's some things that we need to think about, and are we identifying the risk to the business plan? What are those things that may bite us in the posterior if we don't think about them?
Right.
And so I think there will be, that we as a park board, we represent all the parks, that community interface. And, I think there might be, it's not unusual for people competing for dollars within a city. And it wasn't a couple of years ago that we sat up here and had the mayor come in, not this mayor, but the previous mayor, and say we needed to shut down the swimming pool. And we went, whoa, how come? Well, there weren't enough funds. Well, right now, we seem to be pretty flush with funds, more than we have been in the past. But we need to look and, you know, think about long-term viability and what are the risks to the Parks Department being able to maintain and support all these assets, and be able to, in the eyes of the community, that we're looking out for all of the park assets, not favoring particular ones. Because there are people that feel very, you look at mom and dad's Little League Baseball, how much money do they get from the Parks Department, from park system? None really, other than free lights. Green Country Girls softball, soccer, the pool. So as we're competing for dollars in this community for where the money goes, I think that's something that we can weigh in on and have some, and we're obviously interested in the golf course, that it's, you know.
And want everybody to take time, look at that plan, study it, make comments. I'm more than open to, I look forward to hearing y'all's comments, and we need to make changes, we'll make changes, and, cause I want what's best for the golf course, right, and the city, obviously, so.
Yeah.
We want it to be, you know, I want to have a plan that everybody supports.
Phew.
Well, I don't see it being, you know, we can take it home and look at it till next month and come back and talk about it, but I don't see anything in there that we would have a vote on changing.
All right.
I mean, it's a plan that the management has come up with, and now, as you go through the plan, when you come up with different projects or something that, you know, we could vote, we would have a say in that, but just the overall 5-year plan, probably a moving 5-year plan to start with, and, I've never seen one that wasn't a moving 5-year plan, so, you know.
Well, in a nutshell, Bill, just try to make a quick case here, that is,
Well,
5 years spans multiple administrations within a city. And guess what? Things change as administrations change.
that's right.
And when you're being subsidized, which we are now, we've never been, we have to understand the risk that imposes upon somebody maintaining the same set of subsidies that somebody else did. So I mean, and that's about the long-term viability. If we get dependent on these subsidies, that's fine, as long as we understand what the risks are. If the next administration says, I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
So there's reasons to understand what our long-term vision is for this thing, and how to maintain its viability.
Well, yeah, and that's, you know, I don't disagree with that, but when your management came down with the 5-year plan, everybody didn't vote on it, did they, in your company?
We're really not voting on it, we're just
Yeah.
giving input. And I learn a lot from our discussion. I mean, I'm not involved in that day to day, so I honestly learn a lot from our discussion and from our.
It's just an opportunity for us to look at, and if we want to add, you know, our suggestions, that would be a good time to
Absolutely.
do that, so.
Since it's not listed as an action item, we can just take no action on this, right?
Right.
Yeah, no action.
Thank you for preparing it. This looks like,
Yes.
that was a lot of,
A lot of work.
A lot of work, but my pleasure, I've learned a lot. You
Yeah.
know, it's anytime you do something like this, you're gonna learn something if you're trying to.
Can't help but learn, you know?
Yep,
You know?
seeing what other cities are doing, so it's interesting.
Thank you, Dennis, for all of
Thank
that.
you.
That was a lot of work.
Item number 17, action items. And none present. 18, unforeseeable business. 19, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
I sure appreciate y'all